personal glory. But this week, it's all about national pride as our attention turns to the World Cup. Last year, Team Great Britain came agonisingly close to getting their hands on this trophy, but they had to settle for second, with Poland taking victory. Tonight, the Lions start their 2017 campaign right here. Can they or anyone else get anywhere near Team Poland?
Here in the city of Manchester, it's the World Cup final in this magnificent sporting city. Here we go! What a race! Brilliant! Wonderful ride! What a dramatic night of Speedway! What a performance! Great Britain a silver medalist! Brilliant move! Poland win the Speedway World Cup yet again! The Ovi Funding Trophy is won by Team Poland.
Last year the World Cup concluded in Manchester, and this year it gets underway in Kings Lynn. The 2017 Speedway World Cup first event has Great Britain competing with Australia, USA and the Czech Republic for a place in next Saturday's grand final. Racing is due to get underway in about half an hour's time. So hello, and you're very welcome to the pits here in Kings Lynn with the BT Sport gang. Natalie's roving the pits, and of course we have the expert knowledge of Scott Nicholls, former Team GB captain. Of course, looking forward to this one.
Definitely, without so home soil, the Brits are always strong.
Yeah, well, absolutely. We're going to find out how strong they are now from the team boss, of course. We can't start the show without talking to Roscoe, can we? But how difficult is it going to be? There was that fantastic silver place last year, and the team fought so well, but no bye this year. So you've got to get through the qualifiers, and no Ty Wolfenden leading either. And he got almost 60% of the points last time. So how tough do you think this is going to be to get to the final?
Oh, it's always going to be tough, to matter who you race against, but yeah, we're confident. You know, the boys, we had an excellent practice. You know, spirit's good in the camp, and everybody's very focused and positive.
Yeah, always team spirit's always great, but you've come on a little bit of fire about the way you've structured the team. So now's your opportunity to tell people your reasoning behind it.
Oh yeah, I just made it up on a spin really, but no, it's just, you know, everybody said about putting Robert Lambert at reserve. But the bottom line is, if I brought Danny King into the team, and I just said basically you're the reserve Danny, and then what happens in the first couple of races, if they all go seconds first or seconds or a good third, or just something goes wrong, and then all meeting, then you're chasing to looking to bring in a calibre of someone like Robert Lambert into the team, and I just don't think it was the right way, and I didn't want to go chasing the meeting. I'm confident with the boys that we got that we can go out there and do the job.
I suppose the argument, if what happens to one of your main four riders, then you haven't got your strongest sub that you could have had.
Yeah, but it can happen. You got the same with the Australians now. They've lost Jason Doyle. We're lucky. We've got a full quartet. They're all fit and healthy, and you know, I'm more than happy with what I've done. And we haven't just sat down. We've been mulling this over for weeks, and I just really feel that chasing the game and just trying to think, if they all have a good races, then you're going to try and possibly bring in Robert Lambert halfway in through the meeting. I don't think that's a good...
There's two ways of looking at it, I suppose, isn't there? I mean, you take the Australian point of view, no Jason Doyle, that's become apparent today. He's not going to be racing here, but they've got Max Frick, and Max Frick will be put into the team. They're going to be racing with four. Is this good for Team GP? Does this help you out at all?
Oh no, Max Frick's a quality rider. You know, you never underestimate anybody. You know, people are writing off the Czechs and the Americans, but they got some good riders. Yeah, the Americans have got not very many experienced riders, but the Czechs will take points off of people, so you can't underestimate anybody, and we certainly ain't going to be doing that.
Ty's got some big boots to fill, but no better choice than man at the moment, Craig Cook, to take over that captaincy right now.
Yeah, I know. I mean, a few people were trying to, you know, tell me, you know, they're a bit surprised when I named Craig, but he's won 2 GP qualifiers now. He's won the British title, and he's, you know, he's in top form, and you know, he's been great with the boys today. It's been a breath of fresh air today.
Thanks very much, Roscoe, and good luck tonight, of course. You said it all there about Craig Cook. He's having such an incredible year, and he's with Natalie in the pits.
Well, it's a pretty calm atmosphere down here at the moment, but Craig Cook, very shortly you're going to be leading Team GB out as the captain. You're racing heat number 1. Have you thought about how special that's going to feel?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, I've done this kind of thing before, but never as captain, so a new role and a little bit more weight on my shoulders, but yeah, if anyone knows me, you know, I won't let it get to me.
Well, this is the season of your career so far. Do you think the captaincy role has come at a good time for you?
Yeah, why not? I think Roscoe likes my attitude towards things, and I think he thinks that he'll benefit the team, and my mentality and my attitude towards things. So yeah, hopefully that rubs off on the boys and helps us guide us to victory.
Well, we're going to speak to the rest of the team in a little while, but what is the mood in the pits in the Team GB camp?
Very, very relaxed. We're all feeling calm and quite comfortable. So. Yeah, everyone's feeling good, everyone's happy, and practice went really well. So yeah, track's a little bit different now for racing, but hopefully that'll play into our hands.
Well, Team GB have won Event 1 5 times, all on home shale. How confident are you that you can do it tonight and go straight to the final on Saturday?
I don't see any reason why not to be confident. This is our home turf, like you said. So yeah, just go out there, wind it on, and do Great Britain proud.
We wish you all the very best, Craig, and of course the rest of the team.
Absolutely, thank you very much.
Back to you, Susie.
Thanks very much, Natalie. Scott and I, as you can see, have made it up here to the studio, which overlooks the track behind us. Sun shining here, which we weren't expecting in King's Lynn. No. And a little bit of breeze. Great to hear Natalie there talking to Craig. Is he the standout rider, would you say, for Team GB tonight?
Yeah, definitely. He's on such a high right now. He's won his qualifying rounds en route to try and achieve a Grand Prix place, and just won the British Championship on home soil, so I'm sure he'll bring that confidence to the team tonight.
He said he's going to put the cat amongst the pigeons in Cardiff when he goes and races there. What do you think in terms of GP? Is ready for GPs and ready to go for it full time?
Well, it's definitely, it's a fantastic stepping in circle, really. Cardiff is, we know just what the atmosphere is like there, and Craig is the sort of guy that can bounce off that, but no, he can certainly put the cat amongst the pigeons, like he says, and I think it's a real good taster for him, and who knows, we'll find out very shortly if he does actually achieve his dream and become a Grand Prix rider for next season. Yeah,
he's been having a great season, hasn't he? What about tonight then? Is this a winnable fixture, do you think, for Team GB?
It's definitely winnable, but especially without Jason Doyle in the Australian squad, that will definitely help, but the Australians will be very tough tonight.
I need to reiterate something that we were talking to with Alan there at the top of the show. Still don't quite understand his team lineup. Robert Lambert, surely if he was in as the reserve, you can put him in whenever you want to. Can you explain to me why you wouldn't do it?
No, I can't. Don't think many people can. And for Lambert, I hope he's right in his choices. But no, it's almost like a trump card.
Yeah.
And if, for example, Danny was in the team and having a tough night, then you can bring Robert in straight away. So, I think, and to back that theory up is Team Australia. Jason Doyle is out. They've brought Max in.
And do you feel as though Team Australia have got their team right? They've played it right, and then it's sort of almost showed tonight, really, hasn't it?
I think so. Like I said, I hope we're wrong. Hope Team GB dig all the way through. But I think there's been a flaw in the structure of the team.
OK, well, thanks very much, Scott. We've heard from the team captain. Let's hear now from the rest of the team. They're with Nat.
Well, it's a special moment for any sportsman to represent their country. It's an important night for Stevie Worrell, who makes his World Cup debut. Stevie, do you have to try and treat this as kind of any other meeting? You've had 2 decent meetings here with Bellevue before.
Obviously, it's a massive occasion representing your country, and I'm trying to treat it as if it is just a normal meeting. Obviously, it's not, because I've got the Union Jack on my chest, and there's thousands of people here to watch, but. No, it's obviously a big occasion, but I've been involved in a few meetings myself now, kind of on the world stage, and I'd like to think that I'm settled in, and it's not like I'm completely new to it. So hopefully it'll go smoothly.
So excited and nervous, and from one man getting his first cap to one man who has the most back in the Team GB squad, you must have been delighted to get the phone call from Roscoe after the disappointment of last year.
Yeah, definitely. I was definitely disappointed last year, especially being on home soil for the final. But Roscoe makes these calls, and he has a tough decision. But yeah, great to be back in it this year, and yeah, I'm looking to score as many points as I can tonight.
And of all the years you've been involved in the World Cup, does this competition just get harder year on year?
It does, because the riders are getting better and better, I think, and everything. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, Chris, Stevie, thank you very much. Come over here with me, because rider number 4 is Robert Lambert. He is the current British under-21 champion and a King's Lynn rider as well. But you had a little bit of an accident last week. Tell us how the wrist is. We know you Speedway riders are made of tough stuff.
Yeah, I had obviously a crash on last Sunday and caught my wrist, and and cracked the bone that was broken 2 years ago. But yeah, it's only cracked, so yeah, I'm good on the bike. I felt good in practice. I rode in Tuesday on Sweden, so yeah, it's feeling good. And you know, just a bit of pain after the meeting, but you know, we worry about that after.
As you say, you ride here every week. You've been in practice today. How is the track?
Yeah, the track is best it's ever been, like, all season. Bus has got fresh material, and yeah, you know, it's obviously you know, great weather, so track's mint today. So yeah, really looking forward to meeting, and yeah, hopefully we can achieve something.
Thank you very much, Robert. All the very best. This is your Team GB squad, all excited about flying the flag.
I'm sure they are. There's probably plenty of nerves down there. And actually, when we were speaking to Roscoe at the top of the show, I didn't feel like he looked that comfortable. I mean, we did probably pounce on him a little bit, but he didn't seem that confident.
No, I mean, yeah, we certainly took the gloves off, but you know, he's team manager and he's there to be questioned. And no, I think it possibly, maybe he's kind of thinking he's made the wrong decision. Who knows? But no, he certainly wasn't the jovial Roscoe we used to see.
Well, only time will tell, and understandable nerves, I suppose, coming into this. And we're just seeing the boys there. Robert Lambert, a great British hope. I mean, just a really strong rider.
Yeah, he is a young rider. He'll be, like you said before, he'll be our reserve. Not reserve, so he's in the main body of the team, but only
It's
under
not your
21.
team pick.
That's what we should have had. But no, it's a home track. He's exceptionally quick round here, so you know, I can see that's obviously why Roscoe has put him in the main body of the team. But yeah, a great future for us with him.
What about that injury, though? I mean, it was supposed to be a broken scaphoid, and I don't know whether there's levels of breaking your scaphoid, but it's got to be still painful, hasn't it?
I'm sure it is, but I saw him in practice. He looked comfortable, and yeah, I'm sure, you know, he can put that to the back of his mind and do the best he can for his country tonight.
OK, Chris Harris, we know that he had a shocking year, really, last year, didn't he, by his standards? But he seems to be rejuvenated this year. How much of that do you think comes from not having the pressure of being in the GPs, not having that on his shoulders? Does it change anything for you?
I think it's made a big difference. I think he can try and, more importantly, enjoy his racing again. He's having a good season domestically, and no, I think he'll be bitterly disappointed to have missed out on being in the squad last year at Bellevue. But no, we know what Chris Harris does when he puts that England race jacket on. He delivers.
Yeah, he really does. Very patriotic, of course. And so we saw Steve Worrell there, you know, a rider that you've raced with, you know very well. What can we expect from him tonight? A lot of nerves, surely, for him coming in for the first time. I
think that's the only question mark over Stevie. He's a fantastic gator. He's a brilliant racer, having a great season. Second in the British Championship this year. It's just how he deals with those nerves. So fingers crossed he can keep calm and go out and do the job.
OK, well, only time will tell for that. We're getting closer now to Taped Up here at Kings Lynn ahead of the first round of this year's Speedway World Cup. We'll have more from Scott as we continue our build-up next. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss this.
Grab some gear. This is what I do.
Tactical. You want a war? She's like you.
You have no idea what's coming.
Shih Tzu.
Cockapoo.
Bloodhound.
Collie.
You know your bloodhound from your greyhound, but do you know what you can do with your pension pot? PensionWise offers free, impartial guidance over the phone or face-to-face. Call us for some
pointers.
0800 138 1888.
Mayday! Mayday! This is Eagle One. We have a problem.
Don't panic. I'll see what the internet says. Oh, what a promo! Double winnings is a free bet during Wimbledon if your player loses the first set and still wins the match. Yes, let's have a piece of the action.
We're breaking up!
I tell you what, I rate our chances.
Oh,
for the love of the game. Betway.com.
When you need some emergency cash. For that, you can turn to Sunny. They don't charge fees at all. What you pay is crystal clear. That's life support. Swing by their site. Stress not.
Loans from £100 to £2,500 at sunny.co.uk.
Opening my eyes after the op and seeing everything crystal clear.
I have the vision of a 20-year-old.
I am now completely glasses free.
And it's bliss.
My eyes weren't suitable for laser correction.
So I made an appointment.
But thanks to Optegra's amazing permanent lens replacement,
it completely turned my life around.
The Optegra hospital was
immaculately clean.
More like a 5-star hotel than a hospital.
I could see so clearly.
Everything was bright.
And nothing to be frightened of.
It's the best thing I've ever done.
Great to live life without glasses again.
There are many reasons why more and more people are trusting Optegra for life-changing vision correction, from the latest laser surgery to state-of-the-art lens replacement. Perhaps it's because we have more qualified surgeons than anyone else, or more hospitals, or the choices of treatment, or perhaps it's the more people than ever who are recommending us. See for yourself and call Optegra now on 0800 860 6120 and find out how you could lose your glasses and change your life for good. That's 0800 860 6120.
Rain, sun, when the weather threatens, who can protect your home?
Everybody was kung fu painting
To protect from when it's raining.
The Dulux Weather Shield promise protects against peeling and flaking for as long as you live in your home. Dulux Weather Shield. Be your home's hero.
You're back with us in the Australian pit here at Kings Lynn, nearing tapes up as a big week of World Cup action gets underway here on BT Sport. Tonight, Great Britain will be looking to book their place at Saturday's final next week against the strong Australian side, despite the fact that they're missing their World Championship leader, Jason Doyle. Their team manager, Mark Lemon, is with Natalie.
Lemon, we saw Jason Doyle's heroics last Saturday and his determination, but this meeting coming too quickly for him. What was the conversation you had with him today?
Obviously, I mean, Jason's got a world championship at stake. He wants to ride for his country, and I wanted him to ride for his country, but we just felt that maybe another week's rest would actually benefit us next Saturday. If obviously we've got to get to the final, but that's what we're looking at, the big picture basically. So yeah, I'm comfortable with Max coming in. The rules sort of put me in a bit of a back sort of foot stance at the moment, but we'll deal with it, and that's what it is. We're going to roll with that.
As you say, you know what replacement you've got in Max Vick and what he can do here as the Bellevue manager. He's a good replacement.
Yeah, he is, but it just makes it difficult. Obviously we don't have a reserve then where we're very vulnerable if something happens. But then again, if something happens, you're probably vulnerable anyway. So it's I feel quite confident with the team. The boys are pretty relaxed. They're all pretty upbeat. They know what the race-off is all about, and we know we want to avoid it.
Did you have a pretty difficult decision to make in team selection? I suppose it's a nice headache to have, isn't it, when you've got so many options?
Yeah, we had obviously Brady Kurt, Sam Masters, Josh Grozonic. There's these three guys could probably sort of be in most teams in other federations, and obviously Max at reserve. He can probably feel hard done by too, but we have a plan, and we're going to hopefully come away from tonight, and we'll be able to execute that next week. But it's all to look forward to.
Fourth for the last 2 years. Who's going to be the biggest competition for a medal place this year?
Well, a place or the win. I mean, obviously you look at Poland; they're so dominant at the moment. They've got, they could probably field a B team, and then they're in their home soil. It's going to be tough, but it's strange. World Cups, they bring out different, sort of desires in countries, and I guess we're no different. So we're a very proud nation. The boys love representing their country, and we always look forward to this time of the year. So hopefully we will be there on next Saturday. So whether it's placings or what, that's our aim.
Thanks for talking to us, Mark. All the best.
All right, thank you very much.
I suppose in a way, Scott, it's a little bit bittersweet there for Australia because they've got Max Frick, who we know how good he is, to come in, which is great. But if something happens tonight, they've got nobody else. They can't bring another rider in like they could have done last year with the rule changes. Yeah,
they are up against it. I mean, the rules now is that whatever team they field today, they have to run them in the race-off or the final. So that's why they've named Jason Doyle in the squad, just banking on the rest of the boys can deliver.
Yeah, and then hoping that he'll be good enough to deliver if they get there, of course. Czech Republic boys, you can see there on the track, the rider parade. I suppose Václav Milik is very much the star of that team, Scott.
Definitely so. He was the man in shot just now, and yeah, we saw what he did in the Grand Prix when he was wild card there. Right now, Team USA leading there by Ricky Wells. A very, very young side there. Team America, sorry, they're pretty much all under 20 with the exception of Ricky Wells and Gino Banderas. But Greg Hancock decided to step back this season. He just said he wanted to give these young guys an opportunity to go out there and find their feet and just gain from the experience.
Yeah, this is a great shop window for them, isn't it?
It is amazing, you know, a lot of these boys, you know, they're European-based riders, Scandinavian riders, they get to come and race over here, race on a lot more tracks. The American boys, their tracks are very, very different at home, very, very small. So for these boys, a huge learning curve for them, but they've spent a little bit of time over here, been having a little bit of practice and just trying to find their feet. So, like you say, more than anything, it's just a building process for them.
You talk about them finding their feet. Do you think they could have benefited with somebody? There's not anybody like Greg Hancock, there's only Greg Hancock, but as a mentor kind of figure?
Yeah, no question about that. I think if Greg was in the team, he could share an awful lot of experience and do an awful lot to build their confidence and experience. But he's still involved off track. Then I think we move on to Team Australia now, which I think probably are marginally the favourites coming in tonight, as much as we want to get behind the Team GB boys. Chris Holder, it's a new home track for him. Troy Batchelor, home track. He's in fantastic form right now. And say Max Frick. Nick Morris is riding the best I think I've seen him ride. So Australia will be a massive threat to Team GB tonight.
And Chris Holder's quite an interesting prospect because he really hasn't kind of found his gear all year. And then suddenly in the last couple of weeks or so, we've seen him get his stride, haven't we? Trying new things.
Yeah, he has. He's you know, had to work hard on the engine setups. He's not been happy, but the Grand Prix have progressively got a little bit better for him. Chris Holder's a man in shot there on the bike. Yeah, and you know, there's a gap in the world championships right now, so he could use this World Cup experience as a huge platform to build his confidence up going forward. So you see the guys just looking at the start gates now. Important, obviously they will know their gate positions coming out, but more importantly, here comes Team GB led by the informed man Craig Cook. So Craig Cook leads them slightly, possibly could go against Team GB in the opening set of races. They have the outside gates, which could be difficult early on because it is hard to get to that inside. Looking down heat one, Troy Batchelor is off the inside gate, but just listen to the crowd get behind the boys. That will certainly be the sixth man in the team for them.
Yeah, and we saw that, didn't we, in Manchester, and boy did it make a difference. And this is one of those championships where you can get strange results. And you know, what do they need, the British riders out there today?
They really need to use this energy of the crowd. I remember from the days when I was in there, it's you really, really do bounce off the crowd. So they'll be like I said, they are the sixth men in the team for them boys tonight.
And you've been out there as the team captain. How will Craig Cook be feeling right now?
He'll be very proud, and I'm sure he'll probably feel a little bit nervous at the same time. But if he can turn those nervous energies into positive energies, and you know, the crest of the wave he's on right now, if he can filter that down to the rest of the boys, and I'm sure Craig will just revel in a new position for him. You know, it's only a short speedway career. He's a former motocross rider, so to get to where he's at now has been an amazing ride for him so far.
And to be here on that momentum, it's really important, isn't it, to be leading the team? I mean, that could be a really big key for him, but here comes the national anthem now. So there it is. It really feels as though the World Cup's properly getting underway now, doesn't it? When you hear that.
That's it. Once the national anthem's over, it's now's when the boys will start, the nerves will start to kick in now. They'll realise it's showtime now. They'll do a lap and a little bit here. Just soak up the atmosphere. You know, a lot of the Australian boys, they have a lot of support here too. So it's right now the thought process starts building up. They'll be going their first race. Craig Cook, Team GB, he'll be opening in race 1 for us off gate 4. So he'll already slightly quietly be thinking about, he'll come around no doubt, look at the start line, find his spot off gate 4 ready for action.
And of course they've been out and they've practiced this morning. Let's talk about the track a little bit. We know this is one that's always really beautifully prepared.
It is. Buster Chapman, one of the best track creators in the country, and yeah, I mean, with Kings Lynn, one thing you get is a great racetrack. It's very even. You know, anybody can win here, but like I say, the boys had practice today. I'd like to think there'll be a little bit more dirt, a little bit more grip on the track today, but practice is all about just feeling your feet. But Adam Ellis in shot there now. It's a big moment for him. I mean, I'm sure he'll be excited and wanting to get a go, but I say the man I feel for at the moment, Stevie Worrell's, his debut in the World Cup. So just see if he can contain those nerves.
And looking at Adam there, do you think, you know, he will have known about the controversy? Do you think he'll be thinking, hang on, I'm going to go out and prove myself today?
Definitely. Well, that's it. You have to do the best you can to turn a negative to a positive. And you know, he's a laid-back kind of kid, and I'm sure if he gets a chance, he'll just go out there determined to prove the boys wrong.
And a decent lineup, but do you think today the favourites are Australia? It's Australia that Team GB have got to beat. Is there any chance, do you think, that we can see anything strong from Czech Republic or the States, or will they just be trying to take a few points off?
I think they'll be trying to take points. I think, you know, with Vaclav Milik, he will certainly be a spoiler. And in the American team, we've got Ricky Wells, Gino Manzarek. He's coming over desperate to get a team place, so he'll want to put himself in the shop window. So I think, you know, they'll have their own little battle, but I think it's definitely between Team GB, Australia. I think Australia have the slight edge, but Team GB have the home support, as we can see.
Yeah, and Australia, we know, have got some home track advantage as well, really, haven't they?
They have, and that will play difference. I mean, I think for Team Australia, with the absence of Jason Doyle, I think Troy Baxter is in absolutely fantastic form right now. He could be a trump card for them.
Okay, glorious evening here. Sun is shining, really perfect conditions for a night of Speedway. Scott and I are very much looking forward to it. We've heard the mood from the British camp and also the Australian camp. Let's find out now how America are feeling with team boss Lance King. He's over there somewhere with Natalie.
Lance King, the USA team manager for the second year, and this year, Lance, you field a very young side. What are your expectations of them this year?
You know, I think they're going to do extremely well. I really do. They're a bunch of young riders. I don't think that the pressure is going to get to them. They're motivated. You know what? We got incredible team spirit, something that I experienced back in my day. And yeah, I'm excited for them.
Greg Hancock made it clear that he wanted to let the youngsters come through and experience it. Did you talk to him ahead of the World Cup this year?
Yes, and I talked to Greg Daly, just got off the phone with him, and he's rooting everyone on, and he's excited for the youngsters as well.
There's no bigger role model than the defending world champion, being American, and for these boys to look up to. Are you seeing young American riders coming through, enough of them?
No, there's never enough, but I think we have a good group coming up. And more than that, I'm interested in how these guys are going to be doing.
Good shot window for them today.
Absolutely, and it's their time to shine.
Thanks, Lance.
Thank you so much.
Well, that's something we mentioned earlier, isn't it, about an opportunity for them to come here and shine. But why do America find themselves in this predicament, do you think?
It's you know, it's such a long way to come over to here. Obviously, there's visa issues and things like that. But just it's trying to bring the riders through the kind of the whole schooling process. I mean, they're really working hard on it now. But you know, where they struggle when they come here is the tracks are so different. You know, their tracks are very small compared to our tracks. So it'd be interesting to see how they adapt tonight. But the one thing I love the way the Americans are is they're just so relaxed and so positive about the way they can move forward.
Yeah, they always are. And you know, when you do well at an event like this, back in 2004, you got that silver medal. Where does that rank, you know, for you in your Speedway experience?
Oh my God, I look a bit younger there, don't I? Oh, it was absolutely fantastic. I remember that well. It was down at Poole, and I was in heat 20, and we should have won gold that night. I mean, it was a bittersweet, really, because we were so close to achieving gold, but still to achieve a silver is a fantastic feeling.
Yeah, really, and lovely seeing those shots of Lee Richardson, of course.
Yeah, he was a huge part of
always.
Team GB, and yeah, never be replaced.
Yeah, no, completely. I suppose the favourites, undoubtedly the favourites for the World Cup this year are Poland yet again. They've done so well in the World Cup, haven't they? And it's in Poland as well, which makes you want to faceplant, really, because they're so strong. I mean, they've got, as America haven't got the riders, Poland have got the riders.
That's it. They've just got such a fleet of riders coming through. I mean, you look at their team now, they'll still be in the World Cup for another 10 years. I mean, and they're all got the main body, they're all 4 Grand Prix riders. So, it's still, you know, chalk and cheese. But right now, race time comes soon. Here, Team America, Ricky Wells getting ready.
Yeah, well, we know with Dudek is leading, and Pawlicki, Janowski already won GPs. I mean, it'd be hard to bet against those, but it's the World Cup, Scott. You never know, do you?
Exactly, anything can happen, but like you say, on home soil, it'll be very, very tough to beat them. But right now, we have to take advantage of being on our home soil. Craig Cook in the yellow here, coming off gate 4. There'll be a lot of pressure on his shoulders, but like I say, the crest of that wave he's on right now, I'm sure he'll deliver the goods.
And what will Craig Cook have been saying to the boys before they went out?
Just to be focused, use the energy of the crowd, and just keep calm, concentrate on your job. Heat 1 is now coming underway. I mean, if he can get off to a good start here, that'll be key for him to get off to a great start. Gate 4, it's going to be a tough race with Troy Batchelor off the inside, but you know, a win here will boost the confidence of the rest of the team.
Okay, well, they're just seconds away now. Let's cross over to our commentary. Kelvin Tatum and, of course, Nigel Pearson. Here we go.
First race of the night then here in the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup. Australia's Troy Batchelor, who rides for Kings Lynn in Britain. He's on his own track tonight, he's off the inside. Ricky Wells for the USA goes in blue. Hinek Stikawa goes off gate number 3 in the red helmet colour for the Czech Republic. And Craig Cook, a man in the form of his life, off the outside. Kelvin Tatum, MBE, alongside me. Former World Cup winner with England, indeed, back in 1989. Really looking forward to this event, one of the World Cup. Always a highlight.
It is indeed, and we're blessed with beautiful weather this evening. Racing conditions should be just about perfect in truth, and this is always a very well prepared track, grippy track, power track. Alan Rossiter keenly looking on, will want to get off to a good start. Australia on the inside, that could be an opportunity for them in the opening race.
Indeed it could. Let's see how Batchelor can get on. Oh, and straight away we have a delay at the tapes. See where our commentary position is, right at the back of the home straight. It remains to be seen whether anybody was a little bit too eager there. Artur Kuszmerez is the referee from Poland. Here we see it again. Oh,
the young American boy there, just too keen to get on with it. Well, young, I say Ricky Wells. He's not that young, he is experienced, but quite clearly nervous on the start line in the World Cup. Didn't ride for America in previous World Cups, but Ricky Wells will be disqualified for that. The referee here tonight is the Polish man Artur Kuszmerez, and has no hesitation, and in truth that is not what the young American team were looking for.
He's their most experienced rider, Kelvin, and he's the skipper, and he's just gone into the tapes in the first race.
Yeah, that's a mistake from him. That's part of error. Just needed to remain a little bit more patient on the start line there. He's got 3 young lads with him, and just, you know, he can't really blame Batchelor either. Sometimes the rider on the inside of you moves, and that can suck you in, but unfortunately for Ricky, he can't use that excuse this time. Just, well, I can only explain it, nerves getting the better of the American in the opening race.
Yes, even though he is the most experienced in the American side, Ricky, you can understand that he's maybe feeling a little bit of pressure as well, because he is their top rider tonight, and maybe he's feeling the weight of that responsibility for Team USA, who I know have got hopes that maybe they can push the Czech Republic here for that 3rd spot and a place in the race-off. A reminder, the winners tonight go straight through to the final in Leszno next Saturday, and the 2nd and 3rd place teams go into the race-off also in Leszno in Poland next Friday. The 4th place team, their World Cup is over tonight. Reminder, event 2 is in Västervik in Sweden, and that's a tough one. It's on Tuesday night, and you can see that live with us as well. Troy Batchelor off the inside then in the white helmet colour. No rider off 2 as Ricky Wells is disqualified. We have Hinek Stikawa of the Czech Republic off gate 3 in red, and Craig Cook of Great Britain going off the outside. With the greatest of respect to Stikawa, you'd expect it to be a battle from the outside and the inside.
Yeah, I can see this being a theme throughout the night, in truth. It could well become a match race between the two countries, Australia and Great Britain. Cook has been in marvellous form of late. What a week he had just a couple of weeks ago, winning the British Championship, being named Team GB captain as well. He's on the outside.
Away they go, and Batchelor's made a decent start. Now, can Cook get around the outside? Batchelor is in some great form right now for the Kings Lynn Stars here in the UK, and he's got that advantage early on. Troy Batchelor, a man with Grand Prix experience, has now got Craig Cook hunting him down. In Extricauer is in third place with the Czech Republic right now. Batchelor goes wide. Does that allow the opportunity for Cook? Yes, it does. The gap was there, and Craig Cook has come through. Batchelor will come on strong again, but Cook is holding the line.
Yeah, Batchelor been kicking himself right now. He had the lead, he had the inside gate, but he made that small mistake and he allowed the captain of Team GB through. He pounced, he's out in front. Batchelor now setting about it. Can he do anything about it? No, not riding wide, no way in the opening race. Under a lap to go, Craig Cook, full of confidence, looking really good out in front.
Yeah, he spotted the gap and took it superbly. Craig Cook, the new British champion, the wild card for the British Grand Prix, has just taken the checkered flag, and the home fans are delighted here. Great start for Team Great Britain. Craig Cook, the leader, the skipper, leading by example, passing Troy Batchelor, who made that mistake, which was a bit of a surprise as he's a home rider here.
Yeah.
And Batchelor's got plenty of experience and is in terrific form as well. But credit Cook, the home fans are delighted on this home straight. There's a lot of British flags flying around this Aegean Flux Arena tonight. 3 points to Great Britain, that'll do them.
Very nicely. And he rode supremely well there. Didn't get away from gate 4 particularly well, but you've got to give him a lot of credit. He was there, he was hunting Batchelor down, and when Batchelor felt the pressure from Cook, just moved off the inside line there, just made a small mistake, and that allowed Cook through. Brilliant opening ride for Team GB.
Was, yeah, absolutely. Craig Cook the winner, with Troy Batchelor second. In Extricauer was third. And no points for the USA. Ricky Wells disqualified from that, so Britain make an early lead here with the victory in the opening race of the night. And Craig Cook in tremendous form, rides for the Bellevue Aces, who, of course, their team manager is Mark Lemon, who's also the Australian team manager. So Cook looking to put one over his own team manager here tonight.
Absolutely, brilliant start from Troy Batchelor. Just there we saw the mistake where Batchelor runs a little wide, bike straightened up, and momentarily ran wide, and Cook was there ready to pounce. You see it again there, just a little bit of too much grip on the entrance to the first corner. There's no doubt that Cook was ready to pounce, and he hit the front and he hung on 2 to 3 points. The ideal way to start for tonight's meeting. As we've already said, Cook has been in terrific form, and that's a brilliant way for his evening to start.
Yeah, good stuff. We build up to heat number 2 here now at the Aegean Flux Arena. In all its splendour tonight, they have done a lot of improvements here down the last few years. Keith Chapman, the owner, really invested heavily in this place. Gino Manzarek goes off the inside for the USA, a former Ipswich Witches rider here in the UK. Joseph Pepe Frank goes off gate number 2 in red. Stevie Worrell goes off gate 3 in yellow. And Nick Morris for Australia, back from injury, took a knock just over a week ago, riding for the Berwick Bandits in the British Championship. Also rides for Swindon Robins. They were without him on Thursday night, Swindon, but they still managed to nick a win. But Morris back in action for Australia, watched by his parents tonight, Leah and Wendy Morris, who are here at the Aegean Flux Arena watching their boy in action tonight.
Yeah, it's Nick Morris. Be interested to see how he goes here this evening after that knock earlier this week, but he's on the outside. Can he make a flying start now?
Worrell's made a beauty from gate number 3. Can he go wide and get the drive? He can indeed. Manzarek is holding second spot right now. Nick Morris is third in white. It's a super start from Great Britain here, because Stevie Worrell has that advantage. He had a skateboard injury just before the British final. He's got it strapped up again here this evening, but he is riding beautifully here. Flash down the back straight, and Nick Morris, that is the last thing he needs. After his accident recently, he's gone down again.
Just ran straight in the back of Gino Manzarek there. Good to see him up and about. That is terrific, but a nasty high side there coming out of turn 2. And exactly what they didn't need. They're already a man down with Jason Dorr not able to take his place here this evening. But we'll see it again. Manzarek is there running a little, far too much grip mid-corner, lifts just literally runs straight into the back of the American, nowhere to go. Morris is at fault. Nasty high side, out of control, slammed into the track. And nowhere near the air fence, so he really will feel the effects of that. No surprise that he's excluded, but
it's a nasty one, Kel.
So much grit there, Nige, early down low in the first and second corner. The bike literally just pulling his arms out. No way he can control the bike, and he's just a passenger there. And he's, in actual fact, Gino Manzarek is very fortunate not to have gone down with him.
Yes, and Nick Morris is walking back to the pits, which is good to see, but he is disqualified.
Oh, such an awful feeling.
That could have been a lot worse, Kel, couldn't it?
It could have been. Two of them could have gone down, and in truth, it could well have been that Nick Morris didn't get up from that. He's going to feel the effects of it, sure, but it's not the ideal start. And I've got to say that this is handing the advantage early on to Team GB.
Yes, and as you quite rightly pointed out, they're already man down, Australia. There's no Jason Doyle tonight. It was announced earlier today that Doyley would miss out for Australia here this evening. Doyley, joint World Championship leader, the World Individual Championship leader, but he has that foot injury and he's decided to sit this one out tonight. It remains to be seen whether we will see Jason either in the race-off or the final for Australia, but Australia need Nick Morris to be okay to continue tonight.
Absolutely. They have no insurance policy this evening with the reserve rider. They're just down to 4 riders. Just sense they're looking at him. He doesn't look like he's really struggling with any real serious knock. So that is a plus for Australia. But you can't really afford to drop points when it's going to be difficult for other teams to take points off you. And that will pay dividends if you can just stay out of trouble throughout the night. No real surprise, just about Jason Doyle. No surprise at all that he's not racing here tonight.
Now, if Worrell wins this race after only 2 heats, Great Britain will be 4 points up on Australia. And that would be a flying start.
Well, you'd rather be 4 points up than 4 points down, wouldn't you? And absolutely. It's as you rightly say, it's a flying start. Worrell had made a flyer from gate 3, and you've got to say that, you know, there's a lot of pressure on Steve Worrell. It could have been argued, should he be in the team in front of Danny King? And there was a lot of conjecture, a lot of talk about that, but Alan Rossiter has seen the form, and in truth, his form for Bellevue in the last 2 seasons has been much improved. A rider that has really come on leaps and bounds in the last couple of seasons. This is possibly his biggest night of Speedway so far in his career, and I've got to say, he hit the front and he would have been disappointed to have seen the red lights come on, that's for sure. He's got to do it again now.
Absolutely. Stevie Worrell, his first World Cup campaign as a fully fledged member of the Great Britain side, made a fantastic start. Started with Scunthorpe in their National League team a few years ago, former motocrosser, and certainly coming good this year in particular. Manzarek for the USA, Frank for the Czech Republic, Worrell for Great Britain. No Australian rider here. Nick Morris disqualified, but okay, walking back to the pits. That's the most important thing, I would suggest, but a real opportunity for Stevie Worrell to cash in here now for Great Britain, who are, we remind you, in the yellow helmet colours here. Race number 2 at Kings Lynn. Here we go. 10 tries, and it's a good start for Frank, but Worrell sweeps across for Team Great Britain. This is a super start for Alan Rossiter's men, and the red lights are on.
Not sure who's moving there. Disappointing again for this start to come back, because they're going to go back and there'll be a delay. No, tapes are coming down straight away. I'm pleased to see that. Straight back to the tapes. Somebody must have been moving. Very difficult to see, in truth. That angle you can't tell.
Interesting.
You need the side-on movement. Here we go.
This is Worrell in yellow, just a... Yeah, Worrell just moved a little bit, didn't he?
I think we're nitpicking there.
Yes. Okay.
Fractionally.
Definitely moved.
Yeah, did. Yeah, can't deny it. He did just move, but whether... Don't know if there'll be a warning for that at all, but doesn't appear to be. But Alan Rossiter, Chris Harris back in the team. Good to see him. Got a maximum here for Rye House not so long ago, and I think that was instrumental in him getting back into Team GB. So he likes this place, and they'll be looking forward to seeing him a little bit later on. third time of asking. These riders, the engines and clutches will be getting very warm indeed. They'll be very keen to get the 4 laps completed. Certainly Mr. Worrell will be. He's been out in front both times.
Can he do it for a third time here? Take tries now. Can Worrell get there? Into that first turn they go. He's done it again. 3 straight occasions he has swept into the lead here. And it's Stevie Worrell for Great Britain, also rides for the Newcastle Diamonds in the championship here in the UK. As a busy man leads the Americans and the Czech Republic here. Stevie Worrell looking comfortable and looking set to make it a perfect 6 out of 6 for Team Great Britain in the opening 2 races of event 1 here in Kings Lynn.
Yeah, looking good out in front, and all credit to him. He had to just come back to the tapes for the 3rd time, and he reproduced the start that he did earlier on. It's a slightly easier race without Nick Morris, let's be honest about it. Manzarek doesn't race in Britain now, and Joseph Frank is the same, and he's a veteran of the sport. The Czech Republic rider in 3rd place, but Worrell will be delighted with this. He'll be able to settle down, get the nerves out of his body. He's comfortable out in front. Going to pick up 3 very useful points.
Stevie Worrell of Great Britain takes the checkered flag, and the flags are waving all around this Adrian Flux Arena in the July sunshine tonight. Stevie Worrell, what a dream debut, fully fledged debut, I should remind you, in the World Cup. He has been a squad member for Great Britain before. Gino Manzarek is getting 2nd spot there. He's got experience of European action, of course, with the Ipswich Witches.
Yes.
But for Stevie Worrell, that was superb. Yes. He did it 3 times, and he handled the pressure, because I presume, Calvin, as a rider, when you've had to do it time after time, rerun after rerun, it can never be easy when that happens. Worrell for Great Britain, Manzarek, Frank and Morris the finishing order. So far so good for Team Great Britain. They're on to 6 points now, and USA, Australia and the Czech Republic on 2 apiece. What is it like as a rider, Kel, when you have to keep going to that start line for restart after restart?
Well, it's very frustrating because you've done the hard yards, and you know, one of the most difficult aspects of speedway racing is making good starts, and Worrell has made 3 on the spin there, and he's only actually completed 1 race. Lovely start from him there, and he's got a nice style in truth, and as I say, he's a rider that has blossomed in recent months, and it's really good to see. And actually his brother Richie Worrell, they're twins, he was the one that was more fancied just a year or so ago, but Steve has really come on strong and has ridden strongly in the last season and a half, and as a consequence he gets his opportunity to ride for his country, and the first ride for his country as a fully fledged rider, he wins it. Can't get much better than that.
Yep, fair play to Stevie Worrell. The Worrell twins from St Helens, and certainly have made a real success of their career in Speedway. So here we go with heat number 3 now, and I can tell you that Australia in the white helmet colour here should have had Jason Doyle out, but he's replaced by Max Frick here. The nominated reserve coming in for the injured Doyle, Václav Milik for the Czech Republic, who had a good night in Torun last night in the European Championship. Max Frick, gate number 2 for Australia. Dylan Rummel goes off gate number 3 in blue, one of the American youngsters.
Yeah.
And Chris Harris, who's got plenty of experience, over 100 Grand Prix appearances in his career, plenty of World Cup meetings, missed out last year, but recalled by Alan Ross into this year.
Yeah, he's a 100% man, and I expect a big performance from Harris here this evening. Interesting to see how Václav Milik gets on here tonight, because he's a rider again that's much improved, riding for Wrocław in the Extra League in Poland. He's on the inside.
Away they go, and Harris has made a good one from the outside gate here. Chris Harris has that advantage. It's a battle with Milik, and he's just got around the outside. Great Britain are really up for this tonight. Milik is in 2nd spot. Max Frick for Australia is charging hard on the inside now. He's really trying to push Václav Milik hard here, and the American is at the back. The young Rummel is at the back for the USA right now, but Chris Harris looking superb, and you get the feeling that these British boys are well and truly up for the challenge.
They are indeed, and this place has been kind to them in the past, and once again this evening they're starting like a house on fire. What a move from Frick that is, to get the better of Milik. Frick really has come on strong there, but Milik has got some sort of mechanical issue because the bike is popping and banging, and he's now out the back. Harris out in front. Frick has come on strong late on in the race, and young Rummel in 3rd place, but Harris really impressive here. Super start from gate 4.
3 out of 3 for Great Britain, 9 points out of 9 in the first 3 heats here in Event 1 at Kings Lynn. Alan Rossiter will be absolutely delighted. It's a dream start for Great Britain here tonight. Yes, Australia have had 1 or 2 problems, but it has to be said that Great Britain have done their job superbly.
Well,
Vaclav Milik there retiring. Mechanical problems there for the Czech Republic, but what can we say about Chris Harris? As you say, Kelvin, an out-and-out racer, 100%.
Yeah, and revitalised this season. He's moved clubs to Rye House Rockets, also riding for the Peterborough Panthers in the championship as well, and more racing. He has found form, and that was an excellent opening ride from him.
Chris Harris from Max Frick, from Dylan Rummel, Václav Milik had bike problems. This is your score after 3 of the 20 heats. A reminder, the winners tonight go straight through to the World Cup final. It's Great Britain, Australia, the top 2 right now. That's how it is. Britain are on 9, Australia on 4, USA 3, Czech Republic 2.
Well, this is a great effort from Harris, because gate 4 so far hasn't been working that well, and he pretty much gets there off the outside. Not renowned for his starting ability, in truth, but Harris makes that first corner here, and he charges down the back straight. And looks very accomplished out in front. Starts right up against the safety fence, finds a little bit of extra grip there, and comes charging across and just gets the better of Milik, who then actually has some sort of mechanical problem and fades out of the race, with Max Frick coming through into second place. We see it now, Milik clearly having problems now, a bike losing power, and Frick was able to get the better of the Czech Republic rider. And that's a shame for Milik, because Milik has been in such fine form, getting on the rostrum in the European Championship meeting yesterday in Poland. But what a start for Team GB. Chris Harris winning a race, unbeaten in the first 3 races. How about that?
Fabulous performance from Chris Harris. A decade now since that magnificent victory at Cardiff in the British Grand Prix 10 years ago.
Wow.
And that had to go down as one of the most memorable moments at the now known as the Principality Stadium, was the Millennium Stadium at Cardiff. Been going there every year since 2001 for the British Grand Prix, and we're back there again on July the 22nd. Now Luke Becker goes off the inside for the USA here. Mate Kush, plenty of experience in Europe, he's off gate number 2 in red. Robert Lambert, who rides for Kings Lynn, riding for Great Britain here off gate 3. And another Kings Lynn rider, the 2012 world champion Chris Holder, is going off the outside. So Britain and Australia side by side at the start line. Lambert's had 1 or 2 injury problems building up to this meeting, but this is quite a lineup here from the outside 2 gates. Let's see whether Australia can get their first win on the board. Holder is the man. He's made a great start from gate number 4, and now Lambert tries the inside run, and that's a beautiful move from Robert Lambert. And
Kush has gone
down, yeah. But he's getting up, so the race is going to continue here, and the battle is at the front now. Lambert has that lead. Holder made a beautiful start, but Robert Lambert showing no ill effects of that wrist injury and the neck problem he's had as well. He's really giving it a go, and Holder trying to hunt him down for Australia.
Well, the youngster out in front, this is a brave ride from him, had a wrist injury come to this evening's meeting. What a start he made. Holder gave a lot of pressure, and he's right there. The Aussie captain in second place. They're pulling away from the American. Gotta say that now Lambert running wide, can't afford to do that too often. Left to go, best race of the night so far. Holder charging hard. Lambert's gonna really concentrate on this last lap.
He's really pulling clear down the back straight. The opening round of heats, every rider's had 1 outing, and Great Britain have pulled off the perfect dozen. 12 points out of 12 here at Kings Lynn. It's Robert Lambert with the victory. What a performance, battling through the pain barrier. That is something special from that young man. Expect to see him surely play a part in the Speedway Grand Prix in the not too distant future. Surely it's going to be one of those where Great Britain can look forward to Ty Woffenden and Robert Lambert in the Grand Prix series, and maybe even Craig Cook as well. There is hope for Great Britain that they can compete on the world stage. And so far, 4 heats gone. Look at the team spirit. Harris, Cook, Lambert all in there, really enjoying themselves tonight. Lambert, Holder, Becker and Kuss. That was a great ride from Lambert to get the better of Chris Holder. And Great Britain have 4 wins out of 4 to lead Australia by 6.
Well, what a start for the Lions here at Kings Lynn in Event 1 at the Speedway World Cup. It's a clean sweep, 12 out of 12 The Bulldog spirit is barking loud tonight here in Kings Lynn. Hello and welcome back to Kings Lynn, of course the first event of the Speedway World Cup, and we are underway here in perfect conditions for Speedway. We've just seen, well, it's astonishing, isn't it? Clean sheet, 12 points, unbelievable. And it started off really where you could argue that Craig Cook, at the helm of course here, went out and rinsed Troy Batchelor in Heat 1, and it was a perfect start, but it's Heat 2 that we want to have a look at in terms of analysis, because my goodness me, Steve Worrell there had to hold his nerve, not just once, not twice, but 3 times because of this.
He certainly did. I mean, that first turn, you can see he just caught some grip, just out of shot, and just plows into the back of Gino Manzarres. He's lucky to get off, because you watch here, he slides in, there's no airbags there, goes down the head. Now he's just coming back from a concussion, so he got his head a good clout again there, and looks like he could have done his neck. Then we come to the rerun. Steve Worrell had to hold his nerve, makes a fantastic start. Now, I don't know, he didn't get a warning, but obviously the referee deemed that he did maybe jump the start. Now with the new rules, they follow the same as SGP, that if you jump a start, you get a warning. So
we held our breath with
very
that one,
fortunate that Stevie didn't get a warning, because you wouldn't want that sort of pressure on you from race 1. But fair play to him, he went and held his nerve, romped away to a win, and you know, very, very solid start for Team GB.
Yeah, it's a super start for Team GP. Nick Morris, just a word about Nick Morris. Oh, I tell you what we'll do. We'll go to Steve. We can hear from him now. Steve Worrell's with Nat in the pits.
Stevie, we talked about nerves before the meeting. Well, you really had to hold them there, not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Yeah, obviously it's not a great start when you're doing it 3 times, but thankfully I made 3 great gates and rode a nice race and got a win.
But with a warning now, will that play on your mind a little bit?
Hopefully it made me focus a bit more. Like the 3rd time around, I was a lot more focused. Silly mistake, there's no one next to me, and there was no need for it, but no, hopefully it helped me focus now for the rest of the meeting.
It must be nice to hear that crowd, and what a way to start for Team GB, all 4 riders with wins.
Definitely, definitely. No, it's a fantastic start, and obviously it always helps when you start the meeting with a win, so hopefully we can all push on.
Thanks, Stevie.
Thank you.
That's an important point he made there, isn't it? Just want to get that first one out, get those nerves out, because there's no way of doing that apart from getting out on the track and doing a heat. Exactly,
sink or swim, isn't it? And yeah, he said, I mean, we knew there'd be nerves. I mean, this is a huge stage. It's his first time representing the country at this level, and you know, a little bit nervous at the start, but I mean, he goes out, has to repeat 3 perfect starts. That takes some doing.
What do you make of that start so far? I mean, it sounds like a stupid question, but you can't have expected them to have had a clean sheet.
No, especially off the outside gate, so absolutely brilliant start. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, here we go then for the next 4 heats. Let's cross over to our commentators.
Heat number 5, here we go then. We just await the arrival of the Great Britain rider, Robert Lambert here. Max Frick comes in here for Australia off the inside. Going off gate number 2 in yellow is Robert Lambert for Great Britain. Wouldn't believe he's got a wrist and a neck injury, would you, before tonight? Gino Manzarres goes off gate number 3 in blue for the USA. Edward Kretschmar, who has a little European experience from a very brief spell with Swindon Robbins.
Yeah.
He goes off the outside in red.
Yeah, Kretschmar a couple of seasons ago looked like he was really going to burst on the scene, but then there seems to have been a slight plateauing off of his career. It'd be interesting to see how it goes tonight. Young bones, Nigel, they bounce, they don't break, they're not brittle. So Robert Lambert clearly flying so far.
Yeah, it's a great point, and it's a good start from Lambert. Can they make it 5 out of 5? It's looking good here. Lambert looking class here, has got the better of Max Frick, the Australian, in the white helmet colour here. And the USA are burning blue right now. And Robert Lambert, has to be said, is tearing up the Aegean Flux Arena. Frick's going high and wide, but he can't quite land a blow. Lambert knows every inch of this track. Here comes Frick again round the outside,
yeah,
but Lambert's holding the line beautifully.
Ran in too fast there, Frick, and killed his speed. Manzarres is actually riding well for a team USA in 3rd place. What a start again from Robert Lambert. Fantastic start from him. Consecutive races, looking like he could well pick up consecutive wins. Team GB on fire right now tonight.
Yes, and Australia in joker territory. When will Mark Lemon decide to nominate a rider for double points to try and climb back as Frick goes so wide? Oh, and he's allowed America through. 2 drop points for Australia. Well, a drop point for Australia, it has to be said. A bad mistake late on there. And that has allowed through Manzarek for the USA to get second spot. And the USA, this is a big night for them because they may just sneak a place in the race-off on Friday in Poland. That'd be a tremendous achievement for the USA with their team.
Robert Lambert would be, Nigel. You're absolutely right, considering the inexperience they have. Robert Lambert coming out in Heat 5, wins Heat 4 and 5, and they move on to 15 points, Team GB. Max Frick there threw that point away twice. He came into the third turn too fast and ran too wide.
And there we see it now, 15 points to Great Britain, 7 to Australia. USA are on 6, 4 clear of the Czech Republic on 2. The Czech Republic have got far more experience. This is a team of USA youngsters that are living the dream here tonight, and they are doing their country proud.
Well, they've had a couple of warm-up matches. They've been together for a week or so, and quite clearly it's showing in the results. What a start from Robert Lambert. Nailed it to the first corner out of gate 2, and then hugs the inside. Max Frick just could not land a blow, and in truth, Max Frick halfway through the race started overriding, and he carried too much speed into turns 3 on 2 occasions, and actually then, as a consequence of that, gave a point away to Team USA. Robert Lambert, faultless out in front. There we see the mistake from Frick, just running too wide. Got that nicely with Manzarek, very grateful. There we see it, on the edge of the dirt, running in too hot, can't turn the bike, and allows Manzarek through for a second place. Mr. Lambert wouldn't have been worried about that, Nigel. He'll be just chuffed to bits to have won 2 rides.
Quite right too. Tremendous effort so far. The way things are going here, Adam Ellis is not going to get a ride for Great Britain. The way it's shaping up, they're doing such a good job. Full credit to them for that. Heat number 6 it is then here in event 1, and it's Joseph Frank going off the inside. He has European experience and lots of it with the Berwick Bandits up there at Shieldfield Park. They normally race on a Saturday night, but they're not tonight. Many Bandits fans no doubt watching this. Hello to you guys. Chris Holder goes off gate number 2 in white for Australia. Chris Harris, gate 3 in yellow. And Ricky Wells, it's effectively his first race of the night because he touched the tapes in his opener.
Not ideal, is it?
Outside.
No. Here we go.
Heat number 6 it is then here. Can Britain be beaten for the first time? The challenge is on now because Chris Holder has got that lead. Harris is trying the inside run. Holder, though, on one wheel down the back straight, holds onto the lead. It's Chris Holder for Australia. Chris Harris of Great Britain is in second place right now, and Joseph Frank is third for the Czech Republic, ahead of Ricky Wells for the USA. You can be sure that Harris will give it everything here, Kel, but Holder's looking pretty comfortable.
He did indeed. He made a good start, then lifted hard down the back straight, and I thought for a moment that he was able, Harris was going to get the better of Chris Holder out in front. Bit of a battle for third place with Joseph Frank just about hanging on there, but Holder looks quite accomplished here. Has had some changes to his equipment. His engine tuner, Peter Johns, has certainly turned things around for Chris Holder. He seems to be very happy and settled with his equipment. Holder out in front, looking like a first-time winner for Team Aussie.
Yep, this will do nicely for Chris Holder as Harris almost scrapes the boards. A nervous look over his shoulder to check that nobody was around him. But it's a win for Chris Holder of Australia, and it's the first win of the night for the Australian team. Is the captain, is the former world champion, and Britain beaten for the first time, but still dominating this meeting by 7 clear points. And still, Australia have that luxury, not so much a luxury when you're 6 behind, but they have the opportunity to throw a joker in for double points to try and claw it back. By the way, you cannot use a joker after Heat 16, so you're going to have to use it up to and including Heat 16, and only once per nation. That's the rule. Great Britain have 15, Australia, 17 to 10, USA 6, and the Czech Republic have 3. That's how it's shaping up here at Kings Lynn. Chris Holder, Australia's first race winner, and it's taken 6 races.
Well, they needed it too, didn't they? And unexpectedly for them, they would not have forecast that. Mark Lemon, their team manager, would not have forecast that we had to wait 6 races before they get a winner. But got to say, the experience of Holder here works really well. Made a great start. But Harris was there, he chops back to the inside and now lifts all the way down the straight there. That really doesn't do him any favours, but just had enough momentum, just had enough speed. Holder there down the back straight on the outside to enable himself to stay in front of Harris. I thought Harris might have been able to take advantage now, but fair play to Holder, shows great skill and balance to enable himself to keep accelerating down the back straight while he was on one wheel. Good race out in front, and no doubt that the Australian team will be a lot happier about the fact that they've got a race win on the board. Holder, the former world champion, showing the way for Team Australia.
Good stuff from him as we move on to heat number 7 here. Reminder, the World Cup format, if you have just joined us tonight, wherever you are around the world, it is the winners of each event tonight and Tuesday in Västervik, Sweden, go straight through to the World Cup final. The second and third place teams go through to the race-off on Friday in Leszno, and the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup final next Saturday is Poland as the host nation against the 2 group winners and the winners of the race-off. Worrell, Batchelor, Becker and Milik is your lineup for heat number 7. Which way will this one go now? Worrell is the man off the inside, but Batchelor has made a beautiful start for Australia. They're not done yet. It's still early days, believe me. Troy Batchelor riding quite beautifully here on his home track in the UK. Batchelor has that lead. Steve Worrell is in second spot right now. It's a battle between the Czech Republic and America. Václav Milik is coming through in the red helmet colour, battling away for the Czech Republic, just about getting the better of Luke Becker here in heat 7.
Very good. Batchelor out in front. What a start that is. He is a man again that's found some super form this year. I've got to say the club have been very patient with him here because he's been out of form for some considerable time, and he's flying in front. He'll be hoping that he makes no mistakes this time. Got to say, Worrell is coming under a lot of pressure, Nigel. Milik is looking for a way through. I don't know if Worrell's got problems, but certainly Becker has, because his bike's just seized up as he went into the bottom corner. But Batchelor in front, an impressive ride, back-to-back wins for Team Australia.
Yeah, Troy Batchelor punches the air. He is on a great run of form. On his day, he is a world-class rider, Troy Batchelor. I remember the Grand Prix that we were at in Copenhagen a few years ago when he had 6 perfect rides, but couldn't quite win the GP in the final.
I remember that. Unbelievable performance, and we've seen some big performances from him in the World Cup. I can remember Gorjov a few years back where he was absolutely dynamite that night for the Team Australia. But in recent seasons, injury and loss of form really have affected him. But crikey, that was an impressive ride from Troy that time.
And still there is a 6-point gap between Great Britain and Australia. Batchelor the winner for Australia, Worrell for Great Britain second, Milik was third, and Becker packed up at the back. Oh, that's not too expensive for the USA. They are very much here on a shoestring, Team USA.
It sounded expensive, I'm afraid.
Oh dear.
It was a real rattle, and that would suggest that the engine seized up quite dramatically as he entered that bottom corner. Great Britain, as you rightly say, just now their lead has just been reduced a touch by Team Australia just chipping away. We're going to see Luke Becker going away from the tapes, just lifting a little bit. His chain guard also coming adrift on the way to the first corner. Real good battle in the first corner there between Worrell and Batchelor, but Batchelor out in front was very impressive and rode very strongly. See it again, great start from Batchelor. The bike really pulled like a train to that first corner. Very grippy here. Holder actually said in his interview with Kiri that there's lots of grip on the track, and you've got to have a really strong engine here to take advantage of this big, fast arena. Worrell coming under pressure from Václav Milik. He hangs on for the second place, and a good battle for second and third. But the race was all about this man and Team Australia beginning to find their feet.
Yeah, they're just chipping away at Great Britain. Remains to be seen whether Mark Lemon decides to go for the Joker. This is heat number 8, and he's only got another 8 heats after this if they remain 6 points behind Great Britain. There is Mark Lemon, the Team USA manager, former rider, doing a great job with Bellevue in the Premiership in the UK. They've got a super side this year, Bellevue.
Yeah, they'll go close this year. You've got to believe that they'll go close to being in the playoff final.
Yes.
And yeah, exciting times for Mark Lemon.
And there is a substitute coming in here. It's off gate 4. Nick Morris goes off the inside for Australia off gate 1. And effectively it's his first ride of the night after his crash. Craig Cook, a winner first time out. Gate 2 in yellow for Great Britain. Mate Kush for the Czech Republic, gate 3. And Brock Nickel of the USA gets his first ride of the night in blue in place of Dylan Rummel here in heat number 8. Here we go. Great start from Craig Cook. He's dropped that clutch superbly, and he's got the drop. Nick Morris is in second spot right now. Cook has the advantage early on. Nick Morris is holding second place right now. Third is Matej Kush, but he's coming under pressure from Brock Nickel. Nickel for the USA has just come through into third, and Kush has packed up with problems. But Nickel did well to spot the opportunity and got his line well, as now the Czech Republic man has pulled up. But this is Craig Cook. He is looking majestic, smooth as you like.
Yeah, absolutely. He's riding so well. He's riding on the crest of a wave with all the success he's enjoyed just in the last fortnight. And once again, we're seeing it here. Look how confident he is. He's riding right on the edge of the grip, charging around this Adrian Flux arena in fine style. Morris this time has stayed on board, and he's fairly comfortable in second place. And Brock Nickel, this is a good effort from the American here in third place. This is a tough race, and he's holding speed here, hasn't been outbattled. Brilliant ride from Cook.
Cook gets Britain back in the winning mood. Super ride from Craig Cook, the skipper, leading by example, taking over from Ty Woffernan in this World Cup campaign. And Alan Rossiter will still surely be fairly happy with that round of races where they've picked up 10 points from those 4 last heats, which is good enough. Second place for Australia there. And Brock Nickel was on the pace, even though Matej Kush packed up there. So here's the result. Craig Cook from Nick Morris, Brock Nickel and Matej Kush, and the progressive totals for you after 8 of our 20 heats tonight. This is how they look now. Britain 22, Australia 15, USA 7, and the Czech Republic have 4.
So after 8 heats, Team GB still leading. It's 22-15 to Australia, and Australia are coming back. We've got a match on here at Kings Lynn. We'll see you right after the break. Now the difference, the lead that Great Britain have over Australia, and we can head down to the pits and hear from the team boss, who seems to have picked the right team.
For the smiling Alan Rossiter, 6 heat wins out of 8. I know you would say you were confident anyway, but is that a better start than you expected?
Not bad, is it? I'm not getting cocky or nothing, but we just got to keep it going. It's a long way to go. The Joker can play a big part in this, so we got to make sure we stay on top. Just keep going out in front and just keep going. I don't want to go that race off of death.
It is early days, of course, and the Aussies coming back, just reducing that point in that last lot of racing.
Yeah, we know they're going to come strong. You know, we've made some good starts in the first one. You know, 4 out of 4. You can ask for anything better than that. But as I said, it's a long way to go. Let's just keep getting firsts and seconds. That'll do nicely.
You've just been to speak to the boys. What did you say to them?
I just said, just much of a much, boys. Just keep it going. And just had a chat with a couple of them where I felt they were, you know, where they were locking up a little bit and, you know, let the bike run a little bit. You know, we can see it from here, but when I spoke to them, they're all fully aware of that. So, you know, I'm just the old man that sat on the side. They know better than me.
So far, so good. Thanks, Alan.
Thank you very much.
He's looking a bit more relaxed now, isn't he?
We could be eating our words, couldn't we?
We could. I hope we are. Yeah. Exactly. We hope we are. That was a bit panto-esque, wasn't it? It is a long way to go, you know, and we can see the Australians now making some changes there and coming back. But let's go back, shall we, to Heat 5 and have a look at that, where, well, Robert Lambert was sensational again.
Yeah, fantastic. Robert Lambert in the black, yellow helmet colour, sorry. Back-to-back races, makes a fantastic start. And, you know, Max Frick in the white is no slouch, and you can see him starting to build momentum up, and I thought Max was, we're sitting right on this third bend, and I thought he was going to pounce, but then just looked like his bike was overgeared. He come into this bend late on and just makes a huge mistake on the last lap, and you can see there he's getting a lot of drive. Looks like he's quick. He does start to sort of apply the pressure to Lambert, but you know, fair play to Robert. He holds on. You can see there Max Frick just comes in, just runs out of racing room and throws a point away, which is brilliant for us.
We're looking at 2 of the most exciting young riders there in the world, aren't we, really?
Definitely so. You know, Max, Lambert are both in the World Under-21 Championships, fantastically good riders. You know, they'll be, I'm sure there'll be Grand Prix riders in the not too distant future, but a big mistake for Max there, which, like I say, is brilliant for our points tally.
Yeah, if you were Mark Lemon now, if you were managing that team, it looks like they're starting to make some changes technically. They're starting a bit better. What would you be thinking in terms of where you go next? Jokers, that sort of thing?
Well, I think it's going to have to be Joker territory very soon. You know, they're in a position to do that. Chris Holder there. He could be a prime candidate. You know, he's got to Mark Lemon in shot now. He has to look and see which is the possibly easiest race. You know, the Team GB boys are all performing very, very well, but he has to look and he's got to go blow for blow and see who he thinks can deliver the goods over us.
Yeah, it looked like he was contemplating something special there. Chris Holder there, what would he have changed when he went into the pits? Because Heat 6 came out, it was sublime.
It was. A lot of the time, he may have not have changed anything. Sometimes it's purely when you're stuck in traffic, you can't ride the line you want to ride. You can see here he looked like he's having to scrub a lot of speed off when he was behind his first race. But once you get clear track, the bike feels totally different. But like we've said earlier, this is Chris Holder's home track. He's had a very tough start to the season, but he seems like he's starting to find his feet now, and he looks good tonight.
So what are you expecting from now on in? Everybody seems to have found their feet. They know what the track's like out there. They know what to expect.
Well, I think the track is changing now. They've just done a track prep. I think you'll see the riders start to use the dirt on the outside a little bit more. For the Team GB boys, all they've got to do is avoid the last places and just focus on beating the Australians.
Not seen anybody off Heat 1, have we? Off Gate 1, no winners off that yet?
No, it's getting tough. Gate 2 was great last time out, so see how they go in this next block.
Here we go then. Let's go over to our commentators. Here they are, Nigel Pearson and Kelvin Tatum.
Heat number 9 is here then of the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup Event 1, and it's Dylan Rummel going off the inside for the USA in the blue helmet colour. Hinek Stykauer of the Czech Republic, former Wolverhampton and Berwick man, goes off gate 2 in red. Chris Holder goes off gate number 3, the Australian skipper in the white helmet colour, and Stevie Worrell is the Great Britain man going off the outside in yellow. Kelvin, a great start. First 8 heats for Great Britain, absolutely superb, but this isn't done yet, is it?
No, it's not, and we've got just a few seconds left now as the Team GB man coming out on Chris Harris's bike. This is far from ideal, and quite clearly Steve Worrell's had a problem with his own bike. He's going to make it, but he would never have ridden this bike before, and quite clearly a last-minute problem with Worrell's bike on the way out for heat number 9. So he's under added pressure, and when you consider Holder is on the inside of him, who won last time out at fine side. But to your original point, the fact is that, yes, but the Joker, I think, could be the difference between winning and losing tonight.
Yep, well, Australia have to be 6 behind to play that. And Chris Holder has just made a beauty. Great start from Chris Holder. And now Stevie Worrell on borrowed machinery from Chris Harris, looking to get around the outside. Second spot is Hinek Stykauer, and Worrell has gone round.
Oh, big crash!
Oh,
big crash! Oh, Dylan Rummel running in hard there with Stykauer just getting it very wrong on the entrance to turn 3. That young American is going to feel like a herd of elephants has just run over him. He got hooked up with the machinery and got ploughed into the air fence. Nasty looking accident, that.
Yeah, let's hope they're going to be okay. He's a fine young man, Dylan Rummel. I had the pleasure of meeting him on Thursday night when I spent some time with Lance King, the USA team manager. Very polite, well-mannered Dylan Rummel, and I know how much these young Americans want to do this, want to put on a good show and gain the experience from European Speedway. Here we see it again, Kelvin. It's a nasty one.
It is indeed. Stykauer in 3rd place, gets overtaken there by Worrell, and as he goes into turn 3, gets it wrong. The bike slips away from him, and look at Rummel. He's got nowhere to go, and he goes in with the bike. And that's the worst part about that accident. He couldn't get clear of his machinery, and there he clips the back of Stykauer's bike. That unsettles him, and he lands all over the handlebars. And then, just for good measure, Stykauer's bike then gives him an extra thump as they come to a grinding halt. Slippery going in there over the handlebars. Look, he's all up with the bike. That is really nasty looking incident, and it wouldn't surprise me if he takes no further part, because that was a heavy impact.
Hinek Stykauer is disqualified from the restart. That is a blow for the Czech Republic, because whatever happens here, there's only going to be 3 riders in this lineup, and USA will extend their lead over the Czech Republic. However, both Czech Republic and USA can still nominate Joker rides. As long as you are 6 or more behind the leading nation, then you can nominate a Joker. So they're going to play the Joker at some stage as well, and that's good to see. Dylan Rummel is up, but some deep breaths there, Kelv. I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised at all. I'm sure that the wind would have been knocked out of his sails, because As I say, the worst part about that accident was the fact that he actually was all hooked up with the bike as he actually clouted the fence. We've got Worrell going round the outside of Stickhauer. I don't know if he was then literally shocked by that, because he got it very wrong going into turn 3, slips off the bike. Dylan Rummel nowhere to go, clips the back of him, and then with his bike clouts the air fence. We watch it now, he clips the back of him, straightened up. He's desperately trying to avoid him, but can do nothing about it, unsettled. But there's the problem, going in with the bike all wrapped around it. It's gonna really feel that. And it's really encouraging to see Team USA, Lance King and the boys, with young Dylan Rummel making their way back to the pits.
Yeah, holding his rib area. Their reserve, of course, we have already seen tonight, Brock Nicol, who is desperately keen to make an impression. We have seen Max Rummel in the World Cup previously as well. A reminder, no Greg Hancock tonight. Feeling, of course, that it's time for the younger boys to get the experience of riding in Europe. And they're certainly getting that tonight. And Rummel is getting a standing ovation on his way back to the pits area. I think he's lucky to get away with walking away from that one, Kel.
Well, I agree with you. It could have been an awful lot worse. And the air fence does its job. He's had the wind knocked out of his sails. Welcome to World Championship Speedway, young Dylan Rummel. It's tough out there. These are the sort of experiences, unfortunately, you have to go through at times as a Speedway rider. You have to be able to dust yourself down and then refocus and get back out there. Lance King, of course, a vastly experienced racer himself, and he will understand that. It's almost like he's giving the helmet back to young Dylan Rummel and asking him to take his place in the rerun. And that might be the right thing to do, Nige, to get him back out there, if he's capable, if he feels all right, to get back out there to get it out of his system, as it were.
Yep, Alan Rossiter, the Great Britain manager, just checking that Dylan Rummel is okay, which is good to see.
Yeah, they got it.
The 2-minute time allowance is about to go on. The clock is not ticking yet.
I'm encouraged by that. I'm encouraged by that. I think that for him to be taking his place in the rerun after a nasty-looking incident, he's pretty much guaranteed a point as long as the bike keeps running. So that's encouraging. Yeah, riders now emerging back out, holders back out there, helmet colour just being replaced. Done that once or twice. Blue helmet colour on there for young Dylan. And they'll be so keen to get to Legno. The opportunity for Team USA to get to the race-off, to this whole adventure of coming over to Europe, being able to give these youngsters some more experience, another opportunity, another country, another conditions, is invaluable. So they have, it's almost like their gold medal to make the race-off, I think.
Well, what an achievement it would be, I have to agree. If they can beat the Czech Republic here tonight with all their European experience, it would be an amazing achievement in my eyes. They are going to pick up at least a point here now. You would think that that is all they're going to get because of the fact that there's 3 riders only. There's no Czech Republic rider, so the Czech Republic are going to remain on 4 points here. And
well, it's done Worrell a favour.
He's back on his own bike.
Because he's actually got his own equipment running again now, Nigel, so that's done him a favour, and who knows, he might well be able to put Holder under a lot more pressure in heat number 9 now.
Yep, 7 points the difference between Great Britain and Australia. It's Dylan Rummel off the inside, battered and bruised, but nonetheless ready for action. No rider off 2. Gate 3 is Chris Holder, and it's Stevie Worrell back on his own machinery, going off the outside gate for Great Britain here. Going well for Great Britain, but I would suggest going reasonably well for the USA as well, who have an opportunity to open up that gap to 4 points ahead of the Czech Republic. But we will see jokers come into play at some stage later in the evening.
Yeah, we will, and Václav Milik, I'm sure, will be the one, the rider of choice for Milan Spinka, the team manager for the Czech Republic. Hasn't started that well this evening, Milik, but he's an awful lot better than 1 point from 2 rides. Here we go, second time of asking for heat number 9. Can Worrell put pressure on Holder?
Here we go. Heat number 9, and what Holder has made an absolutely beautiful start there, and he's jet propelled, and he's flying down that back straight already. Stevie Worrell in second spot. Dylan Rummel is third in the blue helmet colour. There's a nasty tumble for young Dylan Rummel, but he's battling away here. It's Australia from Great Britain, from USA, and if it stays like this right now, Great Britain's lead will become to 6 points.
It will indeed. What a start from Chris Holder, but I've got to say that Steve Worrell just sat spinning on the start line. I wonder whether they used that crop spray. It's just a bit greasy there, because he didn't get away at all well. Good few laps here for Dylan Rummel, but Holder looks good here. Bike running nicely, he's on the edge of the dirt, and a little bit greasy, and he should win quite comfortably, but it's only the 1 point they're clawing back. They need, if they don't play a joker, they need riders to take points off Team GB.
Yes, and looking very closely at where they may play the tactical substitute joker for Australia. They've got the reserve Max Frick out next in place of Jason Doyle. But Chris Holder looking every bit the class rider he is, of course. That's 8 points out of 9 that he scored for Australia tonight now. Stevie Worrell on 7 points and Great Britain on 24 as opposed to Australia's 18. And that 1 point for Dylan Rummel now puts the USA on 8 as opposed to the Czech Republic's 4 points. Chris Holder, Stevie Worrell, Dylan Rummel, Hinek Stikawi finishing order. And just to confirm the latest scores after 9 heats here now, Great Britain 24, Australia 18, USA 8, Czech Republic have 4.
Well, Australia sort of clawing 1 point back, but in truth that isn't really enough in my book. I think they need to do something else about that, and I'm sure they'll be looking at it very closely. What a start it was from Chris Holder. I've got to say that I thought something had gone wrong with Steve Worrell's bike there again, because he didn't get away at all well. The only explanation I can have is there was a clutch problem or it's very slippery there. Yeah, he just spins up. You can see the back tyre there getting no purchase on the track at all, and he spun all the way to the first corner. Gets away with it because young Dylan Rummel in the race. But Chris Holder looking like a former world champion now. Couple of race wins, enjoying himself and quite clearly enjoying leading this team here tonight.
Yes, we move on to heat number 10 here then at the Adrian Flux Arena, home of the Kings Lynn Stars in British Speedway. Tonight, home of the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup, event number 1. This will take us to the halfway point of the event. Great Britain still have that lead, but although Alan Rossiter couldn't believe it after 5 straight wins early on, the Great Britain manager, I'm quite sure he's still looking quite anxiously down at his scorecard, because Australia will be waiting to pounce. No doubt about that. Craig Cook is here for Great Britain, and he's off the inside gate. Can he make it 3 wins out of 3 for the British champion? Gate 2 in blue is Luke Becker for the USA. Now Max Frick comes in here for the Australian side, and Joseph Frank is off the outside for the Czech Republic. Frick, will remind you, the reserve replacing the injured Jason Doyle here in heat number 10.
Yeah, head-to-head once again between Australia and Great Britain, you would think, but Cook on the inside must be fancying this. Good starting place there.
Cook and Frick, teammates in the UK, of course, with Bellevue, and Cook has made a beautiful start. Now Frick is going to try the outside run. Cook looks over his shoulder, looks as though he's got it under control right now. He's looking very, very smooth, Craig Cook. Seems to have this race under control. This would put Great Britain 7 points up on Australia again and just keep them at arm's length. It's Craig Cook from Max Frick in the white helmet colour, and in blue here, it's Luke Becker for the USA.
Yeah, once again, Craig Cook just making light work of the opposition. Used that inside gate. Admittedly, Frick was there on the outside, but look at the speed that Cook's got. Absolutely clearing off out in front. And this is the rider that just can do no wrong. I've got to say, this is a great effort from Luke Becker in 3rd place. He is all over the under-21 world champion. I remind you, I repeat, under-21 world champion. An encouraging ride from the American.
Super ride from Becker, but what a ride from Craig Cook. 3 wins out of 3. Max Frick gets 2nd spot for Australia there. But that was a good ride from Luke Becker.
Very good.
I just wonder whether British promoters will be keeping a close eye on a couple of these American boys. You know, they are flamboyant, the US riders, and we remind you of that golden generation of, you know, Bobby Schwartz, Dennis Sigalos, Bruce Pennell, and developing into Sam Ermolenko, Ronnie Corrie, blah, blah, blah. Greg Hancock, who's still at it in the World Championship. But what about Craig Cook of Team Great Britain? That is magnificent.
Fabulous riding from Craig Cook. He's 30 years of age now, Craig Cook, but he's a late bloomer. And crikey, is he doing the business for Team GB so far this evening?
Yep, he is indeed. Cook, Frick, Becker and Frank was the finishing order. Significantly, Great Britain now are 7 up on Australia, and significantly, USA are 5 up on the Czech Republic. And I am hearing, we'll get this confirmed for you very shortly indeed, but I am hearing that Chris Holder will replace Nick Morris in the next one on the Joker as a tactical substitution.
Yeah, no surprise to hear that at all. And I think it's a wise move. Holder is their strongest man, and he'll be coming in to try and get the better of Robert Lambert. Brilliant stuff from Craig Cook. Just immaculate riding from the Team GB captain. Racing, leading by example, and rides brilliantly out in front. Max Frick came under pressure from Luke Becker there, which was a surprise. But the Union Jack flags are waving. Team GB riding so well, 27 points. Really are doing an excellent job so far this evening.
Well, they can't do much more than they are. Has to be said here that Great Britain are riding beautifully, and a change of race jacket as well. I've not seen that in the World Cup before. A Joker race jacket.
I like it.
Yeah, for Chris Holder.
Yeah, good,
wearing the
good
Joker
idea.
race jacket. Yeah, and there'll be a Joker board up by the start line as well. And a new race jacket for the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup. Chris Holder in the white helmet colour. Any points he scores here will count for double.
Do you know, I bumped into Chris Holder when I got here, and it was so good to see a smile on his face. He seemed to have been a man that had lost his mojo earlier this season, and I actually stood there having a chat with him, smile on his face. The representative from Monster Energy, Joe Parsons, was with us, and we really did have a bit of crack there just before the meeting started. And I can't remember when I've seen Chris so relaxed for some time, so I think that's evident in the way he's riding. And coming out now with the Joker, an opportunity to pull some points back on Team GB.
Yep, so a big race this one, heat number 11. Huge race in the overall context of this meeting. If Chris Holder can get a victory here and put 6 points on the board, you would expect Lambert to put 2 on the board. It would claw 4 points back for Australia. They would move on to 26, and Great Britain would be 29. We would only have a 3-point gap, and it would be very much game on.
Yeah.
Ricky Wells for the USA. Chris Holder, the tactical substitute and Joker, goes off gate number 2 in white. Václav Milik goes off gate number 3 in red. And Robert Lambert, ruthless Robert Lambert, as he's known, he goes off the outside in yellow for Team Great Britain.
And he's going to have to be ruthless here, Robert, because there's no doubt that this is a very competitive lineup, quite possibly the strongest lineup so far this evening. Holder there, Joker jacket on. He's got Milik to beat as well, and if Milik gets his act together, he's no easy man to beat.
Well, if Holder wins and Milik splits Holder and Lambert, it's even closer, 2 points.
Exactly, it could just work.
Points, yeah.
It'll be a dream result for Team Australia, and all of a sudden it really will be game on. I do sense that Holder's in the mood to win this race. Can Lambert now come up with a stunning performance from gate 4?
Huge race, heat number 11 here at Kings Lynn. Holder's made a decent start and he's got there in that first turn, but Lambert slots into second spot. And would you believe it, the Czech Republic rider who has got Grand Prix experience, Václav Milik, is at the back. USA third with Ricky Wells, and it's Chris Holder in the lead. We remind you, if it stays like this, it'll be 6 points for Australia. And a battle for second place here. Lambert and Wells for USA. Lambert just battles through.
Oh, Lambert pulls a huge looker going into turn 3. This time rides slightly tighter because Wells is looking very much more competitive this time out. Holder out in front, right up by the air fences, really flying out in front. The sort of pace that we've seen from Cook so far this evening. Holder's got this in the bag. The big 6 points closing in on Team GB. You just sense this could be a pivotal moment in the outcome of this meeting.
The gap is going to close significantly here. Chris Holder carrying Australia's hopes brilliantly with 6 points for them. 2 points for Great Britain. Australia 26, Great Britain 29, but also USA move on to 10 points as opposed to the Czech Republic's 4. USA keep chipping away with those points. If they reach the race-off, it will be a magnificent achievement.
It will indeed. Czech Republic can play a Joker, of course, and that would close the gap on Team USA. I just sense that...
So can the USA.
Of course, they can indeed to reply to it, so all sorts of permutations going on there, no doubt about that. But what a ride from Chris Holder, playing the captain's role there, leading by example, picking up a huge 6 points.
Yeah, Holder the winner, 6 points, Lambert 2, Wells 1. Could that be a vital third place for Ricky Wells? It's his first point of the night for USA. And he's beaten Václav Milik. I'm surprised at that. Britain on 29, Australia 26, USA 10, Czech Republic 4. Only the winners go straight through to the final. Second and third make the race off on Friday in Leszno. Wow.
And you really do want to go straight through to the final if you can, because that race off on Friday in Leszno is going to be a meeting to avoid if you can. Great start from Holder out in front, and he has no real trouble in truth. He has 4 uninterrupted laps in front and shows great speed. Super effort from Ricky Wells in third place, the Team USA man, leading man I would suggest. Very nearly got the better of Robert Lambert, but Lambert then recognised he was under pressure and rode a slightly more defensive line and was able to hang on. But here we see Robert Lambert just momentarily early in the race there got it a little bit wrong, and that allowed Ricky Wells just to have a little bit of a sniff about trying to get into second place. But out in front, Holder, terrific riding from him.
Can't tell you now, it's Team USA's turn for the Joker ride. Gino Manzarres is coming in as the Joker for the USA. So that is the situation there. And I can tell you there is a reserve substitution as well for the Czech Republic, with Edward Krčmar replacing Matej Kuš in the red helmet. So Team USA, interestingly here, deciding to give Manzarres the Joker on his own ride and not bringing him in for a weaker link, perhaps, as a tactical substitute in the next phase of 4.
Not sure that's the right decision, Nige. I think if you can, it's always worthwhile trying to use him in another rider's ride if you can to maximise the performance, but we'll have to wait and see if this is the right decision.
Yep, heat number 12 coming up here then. Lance King is the USA team manager. Chris Harris going off the inside in yellow. Gino Manzarres was in this race anyway in blue, but they're nominating him for a Joker. Troy Batchelor goes off gate 3 in white, and Edward Krčmar goes off the outside in red as a reserve switch. Of course, they can still use Manzarres as a tactical substitute, but without the Joker, because he's on a programmed ride here. So yeah, we will see him again having an extra ride in the next phase of 4. Here we go. Heat number 12. It's tense, it's on a knife edge, and it is taking shape quite nicely here at King's Lynn on this Saturday evening. Who's going to make that first turn? It's a good start from Chris Harris for Great Britain, charging through on the inside in the white helmet colour here. Is Troy Batchelor battling with Harris. Third in blue is Manzarres. That would put the USA with 2 more points on the board, and they would move 8 clear of the Czech Republic. Batchelor's not done here, having a real go on Chris Harris, but Harris is riding superbly for Great Britain down that back straight.
He was under a lot of pressure on the opening lap, but all credit to him, he had the right bike in exactly the right place. Batchelor looks like he's got a little bit more speed than Harris, but Harris is riding the right line. There's work to be done there, but Harris just beginning to stretch his legs a little bit there. Certainly Gino Manzarres is going to pick up 2 points here, with the Joker being played by Team USA, but got to say Harris coming to the fore here. Batchelor's a man in top form. Harris riding brilliantly in front.
Yep, it looks like Harris has got this under control now. 3 more points for Great Britain. Chris Harris, magnificent. 8 points out of 9 for him. He's beaten Troy Batchelor, who knows every inch of this track. He's in his second spell with King's Lynn right now, Troy Batchelor. And that is a huge result, because it puts Great Britain 4 up on Australia now. Look what it means to him. He is riding with passion, riding from the heart.
No surprise at all. He is a passionate man, loves riding for Team Great Britain. Got left out of the team last year because of poor form, and couldn't argue with it last year. But this year, there's no doubt that he's back in the team and is riding well. And Team Great Britain are enjoying a terrific night so far.
Here's the result: Harris, Batchelor, Manzarres and Krčmar, and the overall totals now: Great Britain 32, Australia 28, USA 12, Czech Republic have 4.
So the Joker then played for Australia in Heat 11. Chris Holder pulling out all the stops, taking maximum points and then doubling them up to put the pressure on the Lions. Team Australia look menacing now, just 4 points the difference as we head on to the next set of heats, 13 to 16 after the break. Hello and welcome back to the drama from the Speedway World Cup here in King's Lynn. Team GB 4 points ahead, looking composed and riding extremely well. It's all going well for the Lions, and after some controversy of the team lineup for team boss Roscoe, it looks like he's actually done it all right this time. Well, there's a lot more motorsport coming your way on BT Sport tomorrow, because the MotoGP Roadshow has rolled into Sachsenring for the Grand Prix of Germany. Just 11 points separating the top 4 riders in what is proving to be an absolutely brilliant season. Make sure that you watch the latest instalment live from 9:30 tomorrow morning on BT Sport 2. So Mark Lemon played the joker then, using an in-form Chris Holder, who took a maximum of 6 points. Clearly the team boss getting it all right there, and Natalie's in the pits and she's caught up with him.
Mark, you had to wait for heat number 6 before your first race win, and already the joker. It's not the dominant start perhaps you'd hoped for.
No, clearly not. I mean, obviously we knew Great Britain are very strong on their home soil, and you know, we didn't underrate them at all, but things just didn't quite go our way. We've regrouped. Obviously we come back. You know, we had a nice joker win. The mood over there is really good. I got the boys talking now, discussing, you know, their next moves with their bikes, but it's all to play for.
We saw you contemplating the joker. It's up to you to make the big decisions at the right moments, and crucially it worked, even when Lambert had already beaten Holder.
Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of critics at home saying I should have done it before or this or whenever, but you know, it's very difficult. You know, you've got to monitor everything, you know, gate positions, you know, the opposition, and just obviously how the riders react to it. But you know, Chris is a former world champion. You know, you can kind of generally rely on him. He's showing some real class again, so it's great to see.
We saw Chris kind of talking through the replay with you after his first race. What is he telling you?
Well, he's not really telling me anything. I think he's more working it out for himself, to be quite honest. There's not much I can tell him, but I think it's just, you know, give him that added support, you know, build that confidence, and, you know, make sure that they feel like they're actually making the right decisions.
Thanks, Mark.
Okay, cheers.
Yeah, we were wondering when the joker was going to be played. Each heat we were like, why hasn't he played it now, weren't we? But it seemed to work out for him in heat 11, didn't it?
Yeah, it certainly did. I mean, I had on my notes on heat 9 thinking, why didn't he play the joker? But it worked brilliant. I can see the tactic. I mean, Chris Holder in the white makes absolutely fantastic start, and on paper this looks like a stronger heat, so I think he was really hoping or banking that Ricky Wells or Milik would perhaps beat Lambert, who was off the unfavoured outside gate, and stretch the lead even more. But nonetheless, Chris Holder, you can see there, he's looking much more like the Chris Holder we know, and delivered the 6 points. Yeah,
absolutely. In for Nick Morris, and we're hoping that he's not injured, because he had that quite big bump following the concussion earlier.
That's it, yeah. We definitely, you know, hope that Nick Morris is okay. Hope you can see Lambert there getting in a bit of mud when they've
got his hands full, actually,
yeah,
didn't
it's a little bit greasy. The surface here has a lot of clay in it, which makes it a little bit unpredictable sometimes when they water. But going back to Nick Morris, yes, we hope that replacement is purely tactical and not an injury problem.
Yeah, completely. And we can hear from Chris Harris now, who went out after that heat and won his. He's in great form.
Chris, so far so good, but the Australians keeping the pressure on as we expected.
Yeah, no, the boys have started off good today, so it was a good start. But yeah, the Aussies are they keep pushing, which we knew they, like you said, like they would be.
A lot of track grading at the moment. How are you finding it?
Yeah, track's going good. Bike feels okay. It's not quite how I would like it, but we're working hard, and say that the whole team's pulling together. You know, team spirit's great. So yeah, so hopefully we can pull it off now.
You talk about the team spirit there. How crucial is that, and how different is it this year for you compared to previous years?
Yeah, team spirit is always good. I always think, you know, good team spirit can put an extra couple of points on the night. So yeah, every year's been always good team spirit. You know, when we get together, people think that we don't get on, but all the boys are getting on and having some fun.
Thanks, Chris.
Cheers, thank you.
Yeah, what a superb team effort we're seeing from Team GB, and clearly that's coming from Cookie, presumably. You know, it comes from the team captain.
Yeah, you got the lead from the top, and you know, you look down at the scores. I mean, Stevie Worrell has the lowest score on 7 points, which you know, World Championship is a fantastic night's work. So you know, and just looking ahead to the next block, we could potentially see the gates favour us in this next block. So with a bit of luck, we can kind of creep away from the Australians a little bit more. And
Chris Harris there just dropping 1 point against Chris Holder, who seems to have come out now since his second round, and he's on fire.
He is. He's got the flow back. You can see in his riding and his whole demeanour on the bike. He's enjoying his racing. He looks quick, and you know, he can be the threat. But like you say, the Team GB boys, you know, Chris Harris only dropping 1 point along with Robert Lambert. So it's looking good. You know, quietly confident they can go through tonight.
What do they need to do now? Just continue doing what they're doing, hold it together, focus? Is there anything else they can do?
That's it. Like you say, it's they have a 4 point cushion over Australia, so they just got to keep the eye on them. You know, it's they've already played their joker, so you know, just now they just want to put the hammer down and try and pull away as much as they can.
And in terms of the way the track is riding now, do you feel as though it's changed as the evening's gone on at all?
Yeah, the track, the dirt has moved out a little bit, like we said earlier. You know, the track is starting to come, and it will suit the riders like Chris Harris. We know how he loves to ride the outside. May open up a few passing opportunities, but you know, the riders are all very equal on speed. So you know, it's but the Americans doing fantastic. It'd be nice to see them go through to that race off.
Oh, just looking at shots of Dylan Rummel, I mean, how brave was he to be able to come out? It looked a bit shaken, but they were putting everything back on him. Get out there, fella.
He didn't have time to think, did he? Which is the best way. And the joker being played here for Milik, who's for me has been a kind of a big disappointment tonight. After we just those that tune in to watch the Grand Prix, he went into the wild card and was absolutely fantastic. And tonight, he just doesn't seem to be at the races, but they have to desperately do something.
He's on 1 point at the moment, which we would have expected to have seen a few more, taking a few more points away. And just reiterating the point really about actually how strong Team USA is doing tonight.
Yeah, they're doing
well, aren't
fantastically well. And, you know, I have to not repeat myself, but this track is so different to what they're used to back home in the States. But, you know, Milik here for the Team Czech, you know, they're having a real tough time, and full credit to Team USA to see them go through the race off.
Yeah, we're coming into the stage of the evening where last 4 heats of the night before, you know, the managers come in and pick who's going to go where. And like you say, Team GB, I don't think anybody thought that we were going to be in this position, because I think, really, in fairness, Australia were the favourites tonight, weren't they? They were,
you know, and like we said, you know, they put Max in for Jason Doyle. I mean, you know, to be fair, if Jason Doyle was fit and riding tonight, I think it may be a different point score. But you know, we've said so many times, anything can happen in these World Cups, and you know, the British boys always seem to rise above when they on their home soil and they put that jacket on their vest. So just see what happens. Like I say, I really think they can take advantage of gate positions in this next block of races.
We heard earlier that Steve Worrell may have had a warning about that start earlier, which we didn't think he was going to have, but retrospectively may have been given a warning on that, which is not what he would want to have.
No, not at all, because he was a little bit nervy in the first one, which is why he got the warning, and he doesn't want that pressure on, but didn't seem to faze him too much so far, so just get on with the work.
Absolutely can't take anything for granted, though. Focus has got to be 100% for the Lions here.
Definitely so. Gates are very important.
OK, here we go then. Let's catch up with the boys.
Here we go with heat number 13 then, and these next 8 heats will decide it. It's Robert Lambert off the inside for Great Britain, Dylan Rummel for USA Gate 2, Joseph Frank goes off Gate 3 in red, Milan Spinker keeping him in here, and Troy Batchelor off the outside for Australia in white. Lots still up in the air. Yeah. Can Britain hang on and take top spot and go straight through to the final? Can the USA beat the Czech Republic for 3rd place and a place in the World Cup race-off? Lots up in the air with 8 races to go, Kelvin.
Indeed there is. Milan Spinker, we saw him interviewed and he looked a little confused. And I've got to say that we're not quite sure. We know that it's going to be Václav Milik coming out as a joker. We just don't know when. It'll be interesting to see when he chooses to put his top man out. Robert Lambert, though, here on the inside is riding so well, so very well. But Troy Batchelor, I sense, could be a danger. Plenty of track prep going on. That may help Batchelor from the outside. He might just get a really good run through that first corner.
Yep, absolutely. So here we go with heat number 13. Big race coming up now. Mark Lemon watching on the Australian team manager as we build up to this one. Heat 13. Who's going to make it into that first turn? Lambert is there. It just looks over his right shoulder. Charging around the outside is Robert Lambert. It's Troy Batchelor now for Australia. Lambert has that lead, and now it looks as though the American is in a bit of trouble here. Dylan Rummel has faded in the back, and Czech Republic's hopes are raised again. But Robert Lambert riding beautifully.
Indeed he is. He took advantage of the inside gate, and he charged to the front. Batchelor just couldn't get away from gate 4. Gate 4 does look particularly difficult. Only Harris has made a decent start from there earlier on this evening. Those two boys are pulling away out in front, and Team Great Britain once again really putting Australia to the sword here. Got to remember that Team Australia have already used their joker. Joseph Frank, well, this is good news for the Czech Republic, no doubt about that, because they're keeping USA behind them. But Robert Lambert, a star performer tonight.
Showing no ill effects from his injuries. Robert Lambert for Great Britain on his way to victory. 11 points out of a possible 12 for Lambert. And that extends Great Britain's lead again. Superbly done by Robert Lambert. 11 points out of a possible 12. That is simply superb. They move on to 35 points here at Kings Lynn.
Wow.
And Lambert absolutely delighted. Hugely popular, as you would expect here at Kings Lynn. It's his home Premiership track. Rides for Newcastle Diamonds as well in the championship here. But the home fans jubilant. 5 points clear now, and we remind you, Australia have already used the joker.
They have indeed, and this is great stuff. They're showing great resilience here, Team Great Britain, to counteract the 6 points that Chris Holder picked up for the joker ride. Superb ride once again from Robert Lambert.
Yeah, absolutely. So Great Britain now moving on to 35 with 30 for Australia, and the USA 12, Czech Republic 5. But we'll remind you that Václav Milik is going to take a joker ride. The information we have is that we'll take it in his programmed ride, heat number 15.
The tapes are up and they come charging towards the first corner, and Robert Lambert makes a super start from the inside, allows the bike just to drift away from the inside, and it's got a lot of speed. That outside run just doesn't work very well there for Troy Batchelor. We're watching it again, and Robert Lambert, of course, he's like one of their own here, lives fairly locally, just about an hour away in truth. He lives in Norfolk, and he comes here, and they really do like him. His all-action style, Robert Ruthless Lambert, as he's affectionately known, has ridden supremely well this evening. And when you consider he really was on the injury list coming into this meeting, well, he's showing no ill effects of that.
Well, he wasn't going to ride for Kings Lynn on Monday, or he didn't ride for Kings Lynn on Monday at Wolverhampton. He rode in Sweden on Tuesday for Masana and got 4 from 4 rides in Sweden. Then their midweek meeting against Bellevue was washed out, so at least he has had 3 days to rest it and come into the action tonight.
Looks like it's paid off, Nige, because he's a man on top form tonight.
He is indeed. Let's take a look at your lineup for Heat 14 then. Hinek Stikauer goes off gate 1 in red. Chris Harris has been riding beautifully. He's off gate 2 in yellow. Nick Morris for Australia, gate 3 white. Luke Becker for the USA going off the outside here in the blue helmet colour. So we can confirm, by the way, a correction there. Brock Nickel comes in for Luke Becker. It's Brock Nickel in blue for the USA. Here we go! And Brock Nickel's made a lovely gate from gate number 4, but he can't quite get to that first turn. Now can he squeeze through? He can't. The lead is with Chris Harris, and this could be significant. Second place is Nick Morris here. Look for Brock Nickel. Oh, he's gone square and gone down. Brock Nickel has just fallen, but he's managed to get back up, and the race will continue. And this will be another good result for Team Great Britain. If it stays like this, they'll move on to 38. Australia on 32, and it'll be a 6-point gap in Great Britain's favour, and Morris almost lost it completely.
Crikey, for the second time tonight as well.
I thought he was heading for our commentary box.
Indeed, yeah, came charging in there, all out of control, just saved it. Harris riding brilliantly again, made the start, he's having a really good night. Making starts for fun, really looking good. Not good news for Team USA though. The move hasn't worked, and once again the Czech Republic beginning to eat into the lead that USA had over the Czech Republic. Harris holding on, looking good for another win.
Yeah, super ride from Chris Harris for Team Great Britain. Flags flying, and there is now belief again that they can hold out here, Great Britain. Australia threatened briefly, but Great Britain are piling on the pressure again here, and they are looking good.
Are
6
they ever?
points up on Australia.
Wow.
And every chance for Great Britain now, with 6 heats to go, to cement their place in the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup final.
Well, that is a great achievement if they pull it off. Going straight to the final is exactly what you want. If you can avoid the race off on Friday, you'll be delighted with that, just to be spectators. Heat 14 belongs to Harris.
And Morris in second. Hinek Stikauer was third. Nickel fell. And all of a sudden, USA are only 6 up on the Czech Republic, with the joker ride about to be played. Great Britain on 38, Australia 32, USA are on 12, and the Czech Republic are on 6. So the battles here are for top spot and for third place. The winners go through to the World Cup final. Second and third go into the race-off.
Yeah, and Harris is having a super night. He's made great starts tonight, and he'll be really pleased about that. Gets the better of Nick Morris, who hasn't had the best of evenings, although he is carrying an injury. Here we see Brock Nickel just running in on the dirt there, very grippy, pulling his arms out, and the front wheel tucks under. He's none the worse for it, but unfortunately there's no chance of scoring points, and That's why Lance King put him in, fancied that Brock would have a better chance of nicking another point away from the Czech Republic. But Chris Harris, quite clearly, absolutely chuffed to bits to be back in the side. And how well is he riding? That really is encouraging.
Brilliant. And it's Craig Cook and Chris Holder, the best riders for Great Britain and Australia, are in this race. And still, Czech Republic have put Milik in for the Joker ride when two of the other nations have their best riders in this race.
I'm sorry, but this is just a plain mistake.
Watch him go and win the race and get 6 points now.
Yeah, but hey, you know, crikey, he could have been in this race, won it, and then put him in the next one as a joker and win that. Get 9 points out of 2 rides.
Yeah, once you have been a joker, you can't go in as attack sub, as I suggested earlier.
Exactly, so
correction there.
Strange decision here from Milan Spinka.
Chris Holder off the inside in white. Václav Milik goes off gate 2 in red. Any points he scores count for double. At the moment, USA 12, Czech Republic 6. That is the battle for third place and a place in the race-off. Craig Cook for Great Britain off gate 3 in yellow. That is the way it is with the outside gate here for the USA, Gino Manzarez. It's going to be tense in the pits. This is heat 15 here in Kings Lynn. Cook unbeaten so far. Holder the foreman off the inside gate for Team Australia. And what a start from Milik. Oh, Holder squeezed him out and Cook's trying to come through now. It looks as though Milik might have taken it up there and wheel to wheel down the back straight. Holder has the lead for Australia. It's Craig Cook holding second spot for Great Britain. Václav Milik is all over them. Cook coming up the inside. Best race of the night developing here.
No doubt about it. Holder on the outside. Cook! What a move from Craig Cook. Gets the better of the Australian captain. Team GB once again firing himself to the front. Milik was very nearly there, Nigel. Just got shoved wide in the first corner. Has Holder got anything to say about it now? Don't think so. Cook has been so quick, and this could well see Great Britain go through to the World Cup final. What a ride from Cook.
This is going to make it a 7-point lead for Great Britain, and only 2 points for Milik, so the USA will still be 4 points up on the Czech Republic. Going down to the finish line, it's Craig Cook unbeaten for Great Britain. The skipper having a magnificent night here for Team Great Britain. 12 points out of 12. He has passed Chris Holder as well, magnificently. And Václav Milik only getting 2 points there as a joker. And that means that the USA are still 4 points up on the Czech Republic. It could go to heat 20 to decide the race-off. But Craig Cook has put Great Britain 7 up. 7 points up here. With only 5 races to go, is the World Cup final beckoning for Britain?
I would say it is, Nigel. There's every chance of it. They've battled back after seeing the lead reduced to 3 points earlier on when Holder came through on the joker, but Craig Cook riding out of his skin, passing Chris Holder for a fantastic win.
Well, stunning stuff from Craig Cook, passing Chris Holder brilliantly. Look how close it is now. Now, the USA have just had a run of races where they have failed to score in 3 successive heats, and they still have a 4-point cushion over the Czech Republic.
Well, Milan Spinka, when he looks back at this, he'll be kicking himself. Shouldn't have played the joker here. Anyway, the 2 boys out in front. Holder lifting there earlier on. Cook couldn't quite get there initially. Really good action. Look at that, how tight that was. Holder slamming the door shut on the opening lap. Takes up into the first corner. Holder makes a really good start, shoves Milik wide. Cook then out of gate 3, chops back to the inside. Holder then lifting, then slams the door shut, riding a defensive line on the way into turn 3 on the opening lap, but he cannot keep the man from Great Britain at bay. Cook comes up the inside. Whoa, ruthless move, brutal move. And Alan Rossiter clearly delighted. The passion showing there from Team GB team manager. What a night it's been.
Well, there's no doubt Roscoe has is feeling the full passion of being Britain manager tonight. There's been moments where he's clearly wondered which way to turn next. He's lost his big hitter from last year, Ty Woofenden. Bit of a disagreement over things between Woofenden and Rossiter. Certainly a big loss, but has to be said, they have done a wonderful job without him tonight, and full credit to Alan Rossiter and his riders for a magnificent job that they have done here this evening. They've still got a bit of work to do to get over the line, but it's Great Britain Alan Rossiter and his riders on the verge of a second successive World Cup final. And remember, last year they got the silver medal. This is heat number 16. Chris Holder watching on for Team Australia. Here we go. It's a good start from the inside gate here for Stevie Worrell. And Max Frick of Australia is battling through into third place right now. The American rider is in second spot, and that is Ricky Wells right now. Wells has second place, and that could be crucial for them. The lead, though, is with Stevie Worrell riding beautifully. And the serious pressure from Ricky Wells. Third place is Max Frick, but this is great for Great Britain and great for the USA as well.
Wells coming on strong here, round the outside. Worrell having to have a sneaky look over his right shoulder, having to ride very defensively there. Ricky Wells started so poorly with touching the tape. Felt like he let the team down, but suddenly he's finding some speed round the outside. Worrell making a great start from gate 2. Max Frick coming in for Jason Dalton, not able to land a blow, but once again, Team GB flying in front.
They're going to be 9 points up on Australia with 4 heats to go. What a ride from Stevie Worrell. And the home fans are absolutely jubilant with that. There is a great atmosphere here at Kings Lynn tonight. And they know that they have 1 foot in the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup final. Stevie Worrell leading the way.
Yeah.
10 points, a dream debut in the World Cup for Stevie Worrell. Has been part of squads before, but he's never started a meeting before. Rossiter trying to stay cool. He won't celebrate until he knows it's mathematically certain, but they are almost there for sure. 7 points the gap with 4 heats to go. And the USA significantly 6 up on the Czech Republic now for third. Worrell, Wells, Frick and Kush. And this is how it looks with the final 4 heats to come. Great Britain 44, Australia 35, USA 14, and the Czech Republic have 8.
So there you have it. Alan Rossiter's played a blinder. His team have commanded this match. They have dominated, led by Craig Cook, the captain. Great speedway tonight. Hello, welcome back to the World Cup, and everybody's cock-a-hoop here. Well, the Brits are for sure. 44 points over 35. You can just see live shots there of Alan Rossiter, who you have to say, you know, we gave him a hard time at the start of the show, didn't we, Scott? But his boys have gone out there and they've done the job.
Well, they've backed up, haven't they? It's you know, it's we can still stand by, you know, possibly putting Lambert at reserve was the right thing to do, but in our opinion, but no, I mean, look at the boys they've delivered. I mean, you've got Richie Worrell, lowest scorer, and he's only dropped 2 points so far. So it just goes to show just how dominant they've been, and that last block of races, unbeaten.
It's extraordinary. I mean, they've really commanded the whole night so far, haven't they? From the onset. When you look at the fact that Steve Worrell's got 10, and that's the lowest score in Team GP.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic, and like we say, it's you know, I think I probably expected a little bit more from a couple of the Team Australian boys. I think Nick Morris, obviously carrying an injury, had an off night. Max Frick, he just looks uncomfortable tonight. Doesn't look like the Max I'm used to seeing, and you know, that's played pivotal for us because they've been weak. Good to see Chris Holder back to his usual self. I mean, you know, for Team GB, Craig Cook has looked unstoppable, hasn't he?
Yeah, and we can go live with the manager's picks now, Scott, if you can take us through this.
Yeah, well, now it's you see the last team place will go first. So that'll be the Czech Republic. I mean, you know, they desperately need to try and do something to see if they can find their place in that race off.
What was going on with the Joker? The timing of the Joker?
Well, it was just bad timing, full stop. I mean, I think that was just a huge mistake to go up against the 2 most informed riders on the night. It'll be interesting to see where Roscoe chooses to put his riders. Does he put Craig Cook and maybe Chris Harris or something like that out early off the favoured gates just to get as many points in the bag as they can, so that then the likes of Stevie Worrell can go out later in the meeting with no pressure on them, because the outside gates haven't been working as good.
No, they certainly haven't, although they all seem to be able to be dealing with the pressure very well tonight, don't they? And let's not forget that Stevie Worrell's come here in the World Cup for the first time. Exceptional.
He's done exceptionally well. Like you say, it's you know, I don't think some people necessarily appreciate. They think it's just a normal meeting, which it is, but it's that's the way you need to try and take it. But the pressure, you know, you see so many Union Jacks around around the stadium, and it's you're representing your country. It's a huge honour. So he's done fantastically well.
And they're all representing their country. You know, the American boys have come in here and arguably done better than you possibly thought they would have done.
I think so. I mean, you would, given at the beginning of the meeting, you would have possibly put the USA down at the bottom. But this is a big moment now. Mark Lemon.
That's what Mark's going to do.
Yeah, he's got to choose very wisely because, like I say, a couple of his riders are not in form right now. He has to make the best he can of the gate positions left available to him. So in the first race coming out here, you can see he's gone with Max Frick, who he's going to come off gate 2. To me, Max has just not been the rider we used to. I mean, he's a reigning World Under-21 champion. Yeah, the last race he looked slow for the Max we've seen, but nonetheless, Mark Lemon, he's a smart man, and right now he's made his choice. Troy Batchelor, I thought I'd probably seen a couple more wins out of him tonight. He's been in brilliant form this season, and then put Nick Morris out in the last race. I guess he probably feels that they need to do everything they can early on. Now it's Alan Rosser. The fortunate thing for Roscoe is he's seen all the choices now, so he can iron west, he can counter blow. I'd like to think he'll probably try and put Cookie up against Holder.
Is he looking at riders here, or is he looking at the gates?
Well, that's it. We'll see who he's going for. So he's gone with Stevie Worrell in the first one. So, you know, that's off gate 1, which will be favoured. So he'll
come in, hasn't it?
Yeah, and he'll know what gates the other riders are off because they're all in the programme. So it's determined by the helmet colour, which interestingly this year they cannot change the rider lineup for the race-off or the final. So that's something I think is a shame because that was where the team managers really earned their money. But Chris Harris.
So Harris is up against Holder there.
Yeah, and then you'll see Robert Lambert in heat 19, and then just saved his strongest rider for last, which, you know, I can see the theory behind that. He feels that if they need somebody to come out there and get some bag of win, Craig Hook is the only rider unbeaten so far.
Yeah, so decent pick. What do you make of that? How do you think that's going to work out?
Well, it looks like to me, I mean, like say, Alan Rosser, he was fortunate there leading that he can kind of go blow for blow. I mean, all they need to do is try and, I mean, they've got a good cushion right now. You literally, they could, you know, if things go to plan in the first couple of races, they can have this sewn up and we can see Team GB in that final.
Well, it's astonishing, isn't it? We didn't think we'd be sitting here saying this. At this stage, we thought it would be a lot closer than it was.
I definitely thought it was. I mean, when you look down at the scores, you can see, I think, for Team Australia, Max Frick and Nick Morris have had off nights, and that's been the difference.
Yeah, exactly. So in the last set of heats, we saw the Czech Joker come out there, which, you know, obviously was a mistake. But Craig Cook tonight has been utterly imperious.
He has. He's been fantastic, and you know, and that's why Alan Rosser gave him the captaincy job. He's on the crest of a wave right now. He's performing exceptionally well. We saw him in that race with Chris Holder, who's looked very good tonight. They were equal, but fantastic move from Craig up the inside. Probably not necessarily the given line you would choose to take, but he threw it in there. Forceful move down the back straight, and went on to secure a maximum 4 rides so far.
And he's had to step up, because he's taking the place of Ty Wolfenden, who was extraordinary last year in Manchester. 59% of the points, almost 60% of the points. And he's come here and he's got a clean sheet and he's done absolutely everything. I mean, I bet he's floating on cloud 9.
He has. He's been absolutely fantastic tonight. And you think the fact that, you know, all of the boys have done well tonight, so I'm sure Alan Rosser, I'm sure he'll be a happy man right now.
Well, I'm sure he'll be smiling now. He's with Nat. Let's find out. What you got, Nat?
Alan, when your riders are finishing first and second, I suppose it makes your selection easier, but just talk us through your thinking.
I didn't really think too much. I just went with the old gut feeling again, and it seems to work pretty well, but I just had a look at it and I just felt where the riders are and who's in what and who's confident, and to be fair, they're all pretty confident, so it's so much of a much, you know, we just need to get that magic, just got to get past 47 points and we should be home, but still 4 races to go.
You had the luxury of obviously being the top scorers to see what the other teams were doing. Did that change your mind at all?
No, it's great, and it's so nice. It's sitting there. You have to think too much. I didn't have to think too much. I just looked at it now like that. Yeah, I had a little bit of a stutter, but no, I'm confident.
I'd say a lot can happen in 4 heats, but 9 points of difference. You must feel confident watching the display of Team GB that you can you can go all the way through?
I hope everybody's happy with the display. You know, I'm a proud Englishman, and I'm so chuffed with the boys tonight. They were outstanding, and you know, still a long way to go. We've got to focus now. We just, you know, we won't get carried away. We were just talking and making sure that we're do the same things that we've done all night. You know, and let's just fingers crossed we can finish it off and have an easy night Friday night in Legno. I love going to Legno. Hello to my friends in Legno.
Thanks, Alan.
Thank you.
I think he's already sounding a little bit emotional there, Scott, and understandably so, really. They are 9 points ahead. They are dominating tonight. They've done an exceptional job. They really have. Let's see how they get on in the next 4 heats. Here's Nigel and Kelvin.
Here we go with heat number 17. Could this be the moment when Great Britain book their place in the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup final? If Steve Worrell beats Max Frick here, the job is done. They will win the meeting. Steve Worrell off the inside in yellow. Max Frick, gate 2 in white. Gate 3 in red, Hinek Stikauer. And going off the outside is Luke Becker for the USA. 2 issues still remaining now. Who will finish top, Britain or Australia? And will the USA hold on for a place in the race-off? Will Worrell in yellow beat Frick? He's made the start. Stevie Worrell has made the start. And leading here quite comfortably at the moment ahead of Max Frick. This would put Great Britain 10 clear of Australia with only 3 heats to go. And America in trouble here, but they do stay on the bike that time. And the Czech Republic are going to claw a point back on Team USA. Here comes Frick now, battling with Stevie Worrell into turn 3.
Yeah, Worrell ran wide there, made a great start, but Frick up the inside. Worrell has had to recover. Becker very nearly threw it away. He's out the back. Got to say that Stikauer's hanging on to 3rd place. Worrell now riding a narrower line, more defensive line to keep Max Frick at bay. Frick once again running in deep. That just gives a little bit of breathing space for Worrell. Worrell, 1 lap to go to see Team GB through to the final.
Down the back straight they go. Stevie Worrell of Team Great Britain on his World Cup debut. Worrell is the man. Great Britain are 10 clear of Australia, who can only score 9 more points tonight. And Team Great Britain are through to the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup final. They know it, the fans know it as well. A terrific achievement without Ty Woofenden. Many congratulations to Alan Rossiter and Team Great Britain.
What a night for Team Great Britain. On paper, it looked like it could have been nip and tuck between the Australians. Even without Jason Dorr, the Australians still had plenty of quality in their team. Team GB came out firing on all cylinders like a house on fire. Absolutely put Australia to the sword right from heat 1, and they've never let up. What a night it is. They're comfortably through.
Yeah, it was 3 races to go. Brilliant achievement. And still with 3 heats to go, the USA have a 5-point cushion on the Czech Republic. Here's your result, or the standings I should say, with 3 to go. Great Britain 47, Australia 37, USA 14 and Czech Republic 9. So we know Great Britain 10 points clear of Australia, and Australia can only score another 9 points tonight if they win the 3 remaining races. Great Britain are through to the final.
Great start from Worrell, under pressure of course. He would have known the importance of this race, I'm sure of it. Max Frick not really making starts tonight, and has not won a race all night long. He came very close here momentarily because Worrell ran a little wide and they got neck and neck down the back straight, but Worrell just had enough in the tank. He then slams the door shut, running wide again here, opened the door wide open, and Max Frick very nearly made him pay. But fair play to Worrell, he was able to respond and just slammed the door shut, rode a more defensive line then throughout the remainder of the race. And Alan Rossiter, that cheeky grin, the big broad smile is back, and certainly he's through to the final. He can relax for a few days now and look forward to going to Leszno next Saturday.
Yeah, great stuff. So we know that the World Cup final has 2 nations now, Poland and Great Britain. Who will win through from Tuesday in Västervik in Sweden? Sweden, Denmark, Latvia. It's a great lineup. Russia as well on Tuesday night. You can watch that with us on Tuesday evening. Kelvin and myself will be there in Västervik. Looking forward to that on Tuesday evening, talking you through the action. Now, heat number 18. Here's your lineup. It's all about third place now. USA against the Czech Republic. Gino Manzarek for the USA needs to score points here. Chris Harris, gate 2 in yellow for Great Britain. Chris Holder for Australia, gate 3 in white. Mate Kush outside red. Just for editorial balance, we must say, no Jason Doyle for Australia tonight. That is a huge blow for Australia, no question. But Great Britain have done the job that they needed to do, and full credit to them for that. And Manzarek for the USA here in second spot right now. The lead is with Chris Holder. Chris Harris is third right now. This would give the USA a 2-point gain on the Czech Republic, because Kush is at the back, and the USA would move on to 16 points, and they would be 7 clear of the Czech Republic. But now Harris has come through.
Yeah. Got the better of Manzarek there. Manzarek was ruthless going into the first corner. Holder out in front, riding terrifically well. Harris looking like he could well have his colours lowered here. And he's ridden so well, but this time couldn't make the start. Holder out in front. Well, bit of consolation for a team Australia in truth, Nigel. But for Team USA, once again, nicking another point away from the Czech Republic, getting ever closer to the race-off next Friday.
Well, if it stays like this and Manzarek finishes third, the Czech Republic can only level, and that'll be 2 race wins. USA are a point away from the race-off. Chris Holder of Australia takes the victory. Super ride. He's had a great night, Chris Holder. Really has ridden beautifully for the Australian side this evening. And yeah, it's been great to see him ride like that as well. Yeah. Second place for Chris Harris. Third for Manzarek for Team USA. That was a big result for them, because the USA are now just 1 point away from the race-off. Becker, Rummel, Nicol have never ridden professionally in Europe, and they are on the verge of beating the Czech Republic to make the race-off in the World Cup.
Absolutely.
What a story.
That is a great story, and you're right to point it out. A bitterly disappointing performance from the Czech Republic, though. They looked a lot better than just 9 points, excuse me.
Yep, so the standings with 2 heats to go here in Kings Lynn tonight. Great Britain 49, Australia 40. We know that they will be the first 2 tonight. USA 15, Czech Republic 9. You can only get 3 points to win a race. There are only 2 heats remaining, so the Czech Republic can only score 6 more points. USA almost there.
They are indeed, and this Holder has ridden strongly, very strongly for Team Australia this evening, and you can't point the finger at him. He's done his job, no doubt about that. Bit of a tight first corner there with Gino Manzarek making a really good fist of it early on, but hasn't got the speed to resist the charge from Harris, who comes through into second place. A comfortable overtake into the first turn up the inside. A lot of racing room. Holder out in front. You're right to point it out, though. Team USA have done themselves a lot of good here. They haven't got to say that the Czech Republic will be bitterly disappointed in their own performances, particularly Milik. I was expecting a big performance from him. He has not delivered. But Holder in front of course, his new home crowd, riding here for the Kings Lynn Stars. He's had a great night.
19 points for Holder.
Got 19 points on Tuesday on Swedish League as well.
Yeah,
Nige.
I think he's enjoying himself right now.
Yep. He's looking like a rider that's found something, found some form, and much happier about his racing right now.
Now, the situation here for the USA is that Rummel only needs 1 point, but that is less. If Joseph Frank does not win this race, USA are in the race-off. It's as simple as that. So if Joseph Frank doesn't win this race, which is unlikely, as he's only got 3 points from 4 rides, and I mean that with the greatest of respect, then USA are in the race-off. They have 1 foot in the race-off. It looks like Australia and USA will be at Lejno on Friday night in the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup race-off. What an achievement for Team USA. Here we go, heat number 19. Well, it's a good start from the Czech Republic rider, Joseph Frank, would you believe it? And now charging through his Bachelor. I did say it was unlikely that Frank would win the race. Bachelor's coming around the outside. Here comes Troy Bachelor now. Frank holds the line though, ridden well, but Bachelor has done him here. Third place in yellow is Robert Lambert. Now Lambert will fancy taking up the challenge, but this second place for Frank will mean that the USA are in the race-off as Lambert takes up the challenge now, Cal.
Indeed he does. What a start from Joseph Frank. Haven't seen anything like that from him all night long, and he roared away from the tapes. Batchelor around the outside, Robert Lambert coming on in third. You just sense that Lambert's going to be looking for a way through. Look at Lambert coming charging around the outside. Spectacular stuff from him. He gets to second place. Brilliant stuff from the youngster from Kings Lynn to get himself to second place. But Batchelor in front, the race is his.
Yeah, Batchelor's ridden nicely tonight for Australia as well. Troy Batchelor's going to take the checkered flag. Robert Lambert with a real tough battle to get the better of Joseph Frank. But the USA, led by Lance King, with 3 riders who have never ridden professionally in Europe, they have reached the race-off in Poland on Friday night. It's many congratulations to that man, Lance King, and all of Team USA.
Well, that is a fabulous performance when you consider in recent years they have basically been carried by Greg Hancock. Hancock has stood down, and you can understand the reasons why. Opportunities for youngsters to come through, and they've done remarkably well to get themselves through to Lejno on Friday. Troy Batchelor out in front, a good way to finish his night.
Yeah, he's ridden nicely, hasn't he, Troy Batchelor? Done well tonight. And Australia reached the 43-point mark. So it's Great Britain 51, Australia 43, USA 15, and the Czech Republic have 10. So all the issues are now decided. We've got one more race to enjoy. It's congratulations to Great Britain, who have reached the final of the World Cup, and it's Australia and the USA who are heading through to the race-off.
Well, you said it, Nige. Joseph Frank, if he wins the race, with all due respect, I don't think he will. Crikey, he kept it all alive on the opening lap because he made a really good fist of it, but not for too long, because Troy Batchelor is able to get the better of the Czech Republic rider, and he rips around the outside and gets himself to the front. Robert Lambert then was a really spectacular performance from him back in third place. He really did have to work quite hard to get the better of the Czech Republic rider, and he came through into second place with a smashing ride from the youngster. And the 2 teammates, first and second here we see that was a really strong move to get the better of Joseph Frank round the outside from Robert Lambert. Into the last lap they go with Troy Batchelor looking much more like his old self, and I'm sure he's really pleased, and like Chris Holder, is really beginning to enjoy his speedway once again. Good to see.
Well, when you've got Lambert, Batchelor and Holder in the Kings Lynn Stars Premiership team, and we'll see them here in our British coverage, I'm sure, later in the season. That's a pretty strong top 3 around this track, isn't it?
It is, and they've struggled for form very early on, particularly Chris Holder. But you're absolutely right, that's a backbone to a team that anybody would envy.
Nick Morris goes off the inside, Václav Milik goes off gate number 2 in red, Ricky Wells gate 3 in blue, and Craig Cook, can he complete a maximum here? Craig Cook, the Great Britain skipper, has got 12 out of 12 so far. Can he make it a full maximum?
He'll be hoping so. First time as Team GB captain, what a night it's been for him. He'll be in 7th heaven here, riding so very well. And to finish with a 15-point ride maximum, what a way to go out tonight.
Final race of the night, heat number 20, and Cook has made a decent start, but Milik is there. Are we about to see the best of Václav Milik at this late stage of the meeting? We know what he's capable of, and Czech Republic will see this and think, if only you could have done that sooner. He has the advantage here. Nick Morris is in white, Craig Cook is in yellow for Team Great Britain. But Václav Milik saving his best to last, but it's all too late as Cook comes through. And watch for Cook now to take up this challenge as Morris charges through.
Yeah, a bit of nip and tuck going on there for second and third, but Cook resisted that challenge. Milik made a really good start, but keep your eyes on Cook. Cook wants that 15-point maximum. Milik running wide, Cook coming on strong. The fans on the edge of their seats. Now Cook switches to the outside, squares the corner off, into the last lap. Milik hanging on out in front.
Well, he's really up the exhaust pipe. Milik can have thought Morris was out of shape there, but it looks as though Milik has pulled clear now, and he's saving his best till last. A consolation win for the Czech Republic from Václav Milik. At second place, Craig Cook, and third, Nick Morris for Team Australia. But that has meant that the Czech Republic have fallen 2 points short of the race-off. Why on earth was Václav Milik only scoring 1 from his opening 3 rides and then 5 from his last 2?
Well, I can't think that the team manager didn't help, Nigel. Should have done it differently with the Joker, that's for sure, but you're absolutely right. Got going far too late. If he had really come to the party early in the evening, then who knows, the Czech Republic could have got to the race-off.
Fans have loved it here tonight, haven't they? They really have.
Brilliant.
Been a terrific performance from Great Britain, and well done to USA as well. Australia without Jason Doyle, though, we must make that point from a point of editorial balance, I would say. No Jason Doyle, their best rider in the world at the moment. Millet, Cook, Morris and Wells. But Great Britain have done the job, and Alan Rossiter can ask no more. It has been a dominating display from them, and full congratulations to them.
Absolutely, and yes, Jason Doyle, of course, is quite arguably the best rider in the world right now, and he is not here. But I would also argue that Team Australia have plenty of quality in their ranks, and I think that Team Great Britain have just come here, fired up, and done a fantastic job. Millet, though, well, inexplicably coming up with the ride of the night when it's all over. Cook coming through on Nick Morris, that was a strong move from him, and I thought for a moment Cook might well have got himself to the front. Bit of nip and tuck. Millet making a start, showing this the sort of form, the sort of rider that he really is. Nick Morris has had quite an exciting night. Once again, very nearly coming to grief there. Just missing the back of Craig Cook. A night that the Australians will feel very disappointed about. I do believe they feel a little bit shell-shocked. But for Vasad Millet winning Heat 20, he'll be pleased with that. But at that man there, what a night for him. And building on the silver medals from last year, can they do something similar again this year?
Well, why not? Terrific display. Just a reminder of the final standings here at Kings Lynn tonight. And it is Great Britain 53. They're straight through to the World Cup final. Australia 44, USA 15. They make the race off, and Czech Republic's World Cup is over.
Well, Scott, we said it's the World Cup and you never quite know what's going to happen. And, well, we've been surprised for the good, and we've been intrigued and to see what's happening. And just want to talk a little bit about the United States before we get to these great shots here of the boys that are about to go round and celebrate. Let's stay with this then for a while. But how helpful have this crowd been? They've been loving it, haven't they?
Well, I think we've all been pleasantly surprised, haven't we? It's, you know, I think it's fair to say, I think Team Australia came in slight favourites tonight, but those boys have just gone out, shot, delivered. I mean, look down the scoreboards. I mean, it's hardly any points dropped, so absolutely fantastic.
It was just a little bit of a shame there at the end that Cookie couldn't get the clean sweep because, you know, suddenly Milic comes out and he's doing what he hasn't done all night, but he had a good go.
Oh, he did, and it was going to be tough. Gate 4 was really hard, and no, I thought he was going to be fair, but I guess maybe had points been desperate, maybe would he have pushed a little bit harder. The job was already done. There's no point going over and above. I think it was just purely pride at stake at that point. But like you say, from Milic, saves his best till the end. And I mean, that was what we was expecting from him early on. But nonetheless, they're out, and great to see USA go through to that race off too.
Yeah, absolutely wasn't enough to send them through to another chance, and they've never got a medal before, Team USA. And but how buoyed will they be? I mean, they're such a young team. They came in probably not really expecting very much, although they're always positive, of course. And bingo, they get through. They get another bite of the cherry.
Unbelievable. And this is, you know, they're not kind of stepping above themselves. This is, you know, they came in here for the experience to do the best they can. For those boys, I mean, what an experience that's going to be, going to Poland. I mean, God, that will be an intimidating process, but for them just to ride another different track, some different surfaces, different fans, fantastic learning curve for them, and then that's what they're here for. You know, I'm sure Greg Hancock will give them loads more advice and opinions on going to there, but Team GB will be in the final there, so that's the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the most important thing we take from today. And I would just wonder, just going back to Team USA there, that obviously they've done that without Greg Hancock being here. Were they slightly lucky tonight that Czech Republic were off the boil, let's say, to be fair? Yeah,
I think they were. I think we're expecting more from the Czech Republic, especially Milic. You know, we know what a fantastic rider he can be, but like we say, it's racing. Every dog has its day. We have our ups and downs. There's always surprises thrown up, and Team USA took full advantage of that. They threw everything in. They were positive, and they deserve their spot.
Yeah, they certainly do. But of course, Team Australia, it could be slightly different because Jason Doyle's back in the team. That team, the complexity of that team is going to change, isn't the complexion?
It will, certainly will. Jason Doyle, I mean, obviously it's a nasty injury. I'm sure he would rather not have to race in a race off because he's current GP leader. But you know, we come into that. Team GB have done what they've done tonight without Ty Wolfen, like you said earlier, almost 59% of the points he scored before. But That race-off, though, nobody wants to be there. We have the upcoming event. That is going to be. It's only the winner goes through. That will be a race that nobody wants to be in.
Now, the fact that we're going to go through to the, well, we are through to the final there. We know, obviously, Poland will be in the final because they've got the bye because it's in Poland. They will have that home advantage as well. Who else do you expect they'll be up against?
Well, you look at Tuesday night, we have Sweden, Latvia, Denmark and Russia. You know, so you're going to see 2 of those. I mean, you'd like to think Sweden on home soil, you'd like to see them go through from their stage. You know, Russia and Latvia, they can be a big threat as well. But right now, Team GB, I'm sure they'll be soaking up every last little bit of the atmosphere here tonight.
And they did it, and they came, and they conquered, and actually, they made it look easy. It never is.
Oh, God, no, it's certainly not easy. You know, it's... Team USA, Czech, they struggled. That definitely helped because the Team GB boys could go in and likewise for Australia could kind of focus. Really, it was more like they had the only one opposition to focus on. But you know, anybody can become a spoiler, and no, I'm sure Team Australia will be disappointed, bitterly disappointed, not to go straight through to that race-off.
And Adam Ellis never got a look in tonight, did he? They were just all too good.
Damn that Roscoe, if he had done a different role. You know, but like you say, it's some managerial tips from Roscoe. Do it on a whim and go with your gut. There you go.
Yeah, well, we can hear from Chris Holder now, who rode well tonight for Team Australia, captained their team, but it wasn't enough to go through to the final.
Chris, Team Australia kept it close for large parts of the meeting tonight, but where do you think the damage was done?
In the beginning was tough. We started off pretty slowly, and Great Britain were on fire from the go, and they didn't really have a low period. I think they won or come second every heat, where we had a few mistakes and a couple of crashes, or one crash, sorry. And they were just better overall tonight. You know, we were missing Doyley, the form guy in the world at the minute, but it was a tough one. But, you know, we didn't win, but we're through to the race-off, so it's not over yet.
You have an excellent rider in Max Frick, but how big a miss was Jason Doyle tonight, do you think?
Doyley's the world champion at the moment, you know, like on the points, and he's in great form, you know, carrying an injury. You've seen him last weekend in the Grand Prix and loves this place. So, yeah, it's a massive loss to be missing him. But, yeah, Fricky did a good job. Nick, Troy, we all battled. It was just, you know, we just weren't good enough at the end.
I was speaking to Matt Lemon last year. He told me how tough riding Friday and Saturday was after the first event. But to get to the final, you're going to have to try and do that again, aren't you?
I don't know what he's talking about. It's easy to ride on Friday. Maybe it's hard to manage on Friday, I don't know.
But Friday, then Saturday, if you make the final.
Yeah, it's easy. It's a bit of practice. But, no, obviously we would like to go straight through to just keep everything ready for Saturday, but it's not to be. And we're there Friday, so we've got to get through now. So it's do or die.
Thanks, Chris.
No worries.
So it's Team GB who join Poland in Saturday's Speedway World Cup final. And you can find out who's going to join them on Tuesday evening. Join Natalie and Scott as they bring you all the action from Västervik as host Sweden look to see off the challenge of Denmark, Russia and Latvia. Coverage for that gets underway at 5:45 on BT Sport 1. And it's the same channel on Friday evening as Australia and USA look to progress into the final for the second time of asking. All the action for the race-off is live from 6:45, and then next Saturday, all eyes will be on Lesno as reigning world champions look to defend their title on home shell. And you'll be able to enjoy that here on BT Sport from 5:45. But from here in King's Lynn, oh, what a night for the Team Great Britain. They came, they saw, and they conquered. The fans are ecstatic here in King's Lynn. We'll be back with more chat and analysis, and we'll be speaking to the British victors, where you can raise a glass of champagne or a cup of tea, whatever floats your boat, because you are looking at the winners of today's match. Yes, Team Great Britain are through to the final. Natalie is with the lads.
With Alan Rossiter and Craig Cook. And Craig, just reminding Alan, I know there's big smiles, but the job isn't done yet. But congratulations, Alan. It was superb performance from Heat 1 from these guys.
Yeah, we set the pace from the start. 4 wins out of 4, and you couldn't ask for anything better. And that really set the tempo. Reminded me many years ago when Simon Stead popped out at the start and won Heat 1 up here. And again, we were the underdogs against the Australians. And yet again, we've done it again tonight. But as Craig said, it's only the half job done. You know, we got silver last year. We want to do a bit more.
I'm sure there wasn't a point, though, where you were ever relaxed this evening, was there?
I was never relaxed. So, you know, we're talking about putting heart monitors on us all for Lesno, and I'd hate to think what mine would go through the roof.
And what a guy is your skipper who led by example. Craig, you must be delighted. 1 point drop this evening.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not all about the points, you know, my personal level. So yeah, it was a great last race, but yeah, just fell short. But yeah, we had it in the bag for then, so I just went out and enjoyed it, and yeah, through to the final. So all smiles all around.
A big test as well, going to Poland, where not everybody's got a lot of experience in this Team GB camp of Poland. So what is the thinking going into it now?
It's 4 corners and just the same as any other track. So yeah, what's the difference? You just go in there, wind it on, and see what happens.
Alan, what do you do now, between now and Saturday?
I'll go back to reality, go back to work on Monday in my truck, and then work till Wednesday, and then Thursday morning all the team be flying out of Stansted into Poznan and then down to Leszno for a couple of relaxing days before the final. So, you know, all the pressure's off us then, and when we get ourselves back up to speed again, sort of Saturday morning, and we'll get focused, and let's see if we can go one medal better.
Well, you surprised perhaps everybody last year with a silver. Can you do that and go one better and do gold in Poland on Saturday?
Well, we all know how good the Poles are, and especially in their home territory. You know, we've got to be realistic, but also we can always, you know, never. You know, everybody wrote us off against the Aussies. Everybody said the Aussies would beat us again tonight. Similar to when I was at Swindon on Thursday, we had a team. You know, just don't think it's all over. You just got to keep believing.
Cookie, is he going to let you celebrate a bit tonight, or just keep your feet on the ground?
Yeah, I doubt that. I doubt that. He's had us on bottles of water and eggs and toast. So yeah, he's keeping us lean and mean. So.
Oh, that's Suggsy. That's our fitness guy. He's been pretty strict with them, and they've all been stressing hard because every time he walks down the corridor in the hotel, he's making sure they haven't got no rubbish food. It's been brilliant. It's been fun.
Fantastic team effort. Well done tonight, and all the best next Saturday.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Smiles all around. Look at this. The most amazing sunset behind us. It's almost like the sky is celebrating this great night here in Kings Lynn, and what a fantastic evening it's been. 13 wins, nothing worse than a second place.
That's phenomenal, isn't it?
Extraordinary.
It really is.
That's really commanding from the front, isn't it?
It is, and it's you know, I said at the outset of the show, Team GB are always strong on home soil, and you know what, and just enjoy that moment and revel in it. Poland on Saturday, that'll be a totally different ball game. So no, tonight they dominated, they fully deserved the win. Roscoe can go home and have a few days rest, and like you said, they can go and watch the race off on Friday and pick up some pointers. The difference being now is the race off is on Friday, it's back to back. It used to be on the Thursday, so the riders on a Friday, that mentally they can sometimes be drained. You know, you've got to do a huge race on Friday, then straight into the final on Saturday. Sometimes I guess that could be tough for the guys in the race off to go straight from there to the final next day.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting one. And Craig Cook tonight, you know, he conducted his orchestra. He was a maestro of his own orchestra. He was just really superb. Let's have a look at his best bits here. Just style, power and strength.
Exactly, and it didn't do it all from the gates. I mean, this one here, he makes a fantastic start, but it's you know, when you see a rider or a sportsman of any profession, when they're high on confidence, that they're calm on the bike. You can see he's gating good, but he's making smart moves on the track. He looks quick, and no, just carry that through to Poland. I mean, I'm sure him and along with the other Team GB boys, they're limited, and our success in Poland has not been so great, so I'm sure they'll take the confidence and energy from tonight to go and prove those critters wrong.
And this will also be an incredible test for Cookie, won't it? Ahead of what he's got to do in Cardiff, to go next weekend and ride against the best in the world. I mean, you know, Poland, everybody's expecting them to win. But hey, you know, this is the World Cup.
It is. I mean, expectations on Poland, it's fair to say, you know, the luxury for Team GB is, I think it's fair to say that the pressure won't be on them. I think they've gone straight through to the final, fully deserve that. But I think they'll possibly be looking at other nations to be more favoured above them, which would take the pressure off the boys, and that could well swing in their favour.
Yeah, extraordinary performance from all of them tonight throughout. There was no weak link at all, was there, in Team GB? And are we expecting that they're going to be up against Australia, do you think, in the final?
I don't know. It's going to be tough because we look forward to Tuesday night with Sweden, Latvia, Denmark and Russia. those guys, any one of those teams in Poland would be very, very strong. So that race-off will be one to watch for sure.
This is going to be a great week of Speedway. We saw some terrific action tonight.
It certainly is. Vestovic, fantastic racetrack. Can't wait for Tuesday night and then the finals.
Yeah, well, the Lions, they were very strong tonight, weren't they? They stood tall. Nobody could tame them. Nobody could put their roar down. We gave Alan Rossiter a really hard time at the start of the show. We thought it was deservedly so, but hey, he's proved us wrong. What he did tonight was absolutely perfect, and it's the Lions who roar through to the final next weekend. We hope you enjoyed the Speedway. Thanks for watching. What a night.
Premiership Speedway. Now exclusive to BT Sport. Wolverhampton Wolves v Rye House Rock.